This is the Mike Rutherford Show on the Big X.
Sportos, motorheads, geek bloods, wastoids, dweebies, they all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
Welcome to the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical, your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration. Call United Mechanical at 502-339-1133.
All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. Welcome, everybody. It is Tuesday, November 11th. This is the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, Louisville's newest construction management company. We're coming to you live from the world-famous University of Louisville College of Business Studios, here in the heart of rivalry-ready Louisville, Kentucky. Cards fans, you can incubate your inner entrepreneur with U of L's top-ranked Innovation MBA. In just 12 months, gain the confidence and the connections needed to spark your entrepreneurial spirit. Learn best practices from U of L's award-winning faculty, serial entrepreneurs, venture capitalists, and national business leaders, all while you're competing for thousands of dollars in startup funding and business plan competitions. Start your journey today. The first step is visiting business.louisville.edu. We're on the air today from 2:34 until 5:30 here on 1450 AM, 96.1 FM, streaming across the nation, including on YouTube at Big X Sports Radio, airing live on WBNA Channel 21. You know us better as the Big X. Mike Rutherford, Roman Kelly, Rivalry Tuesday. It feels weird. It feels strange. It might even feel wrong, but damn it, it's here, and all of a sudden it starts to feel very, very real. We are a mere 5.5 hours away from tip-off between Louisville and Kentucky in the annual Battle of the Bluegrass, hatred on the hardwood, dream game, whatever you want to call it. It's the big-time rivalry game in this area, and one of the biggest rivalry games in all of sports. It goes down tonight, and I'm going to pick Roman's brain about this in just a second. But yesterday's show was always going to be dominated by the Cal football loss for obvious reasons. Always. There was no way around it. But I was a little bit surprised that it was essentially the entirety of the show. We never really got a chance to even touch on this rivalry game in the slightest yesterday. And that's a little bit of a shock to the system around this part, where this game drives the sports conversation, or at least partially drives the sports conversation, essentially 365 days a year. You can be, walking around at Churchill Downs on Derby weekend, and someone's going to come up to you and talk about, hey, who do you think's going to win the Louisville-Kentucky game next year? Or, this guy that we just added, how do you think that impacts the game? And for it to be 24 hours before tip-off and have the fan base still kind of licking its wounds from a football game and being a little bit down in the dumps because we had something bad happen to us a couple of days earlier, it felt weird. It felt wrong. I'm over it. I'm over it. It happened after I did the CC podcast last night. It was about 11 o'clock. Finally got to, the first time I didn't work all day. Kids are asleep. Got to let loose a little bit. Got to kind of free the mind. And it hit me. It's the damn game. It's the damn game. And it's a game that Louisville can win. It's the most anticipated basketball season we've had around these parts in, at least 7 years. It feels like the first realistic shot that we've had to play deep into the NCAA tournament since before COVID. It feels like the best chance we've had to beat UK since the weird 2021 season where they were ravaged by COVID and all that stuff. It's the first normal rivalry game where it's felt like we've got more than just a fighting chance in a long time. Let's go, damn it. Let's go. It's time. Roman Kelly, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, Mike. I'm excited. Like you just said, this is what we wait all year long for. Even a little bit longer, right? I think that it's hard to put it into words, obviously, because it kind of has smacked us in the face just in the middle of football season, right at the start of November here. Unexpectedly, we're playing not unexpectedly. We knew it was coming, but not really in our emotions, in our hearts. It's kind of just feeling a bit out of nowhere. We've got basically the biggest non-conference game every single season right now, tonight. And I'm feeling good because I feel like for the first time in quite some time, we have a roster that gives us a really good opportunity to win this game.
I don't love the fact right off right out of the gate, somebody has turned on a YouTube video in here that is essentially just highlights of UK basketball wins over Louisville on repeat from over the years, and then I think they've hidden the control. So, savvy veteran move by whoever did this. I'm sure it was, I don't know if it's Stephen Peake or TJ or whoever, but the control's gone, and right now we've got the 2014 game on the big screen, which is the worst game of my entire life. I may have to leave the show to try to find the control. I can't handle this for the entirety of the next 3 hours. It's ridiculous. Was this discussed? Did anybody say this?
No.
I'm looking on the ground for the control now.
Typical Kentucky roll call behavior.
I mean, look, I respect the hell out of it. It's a great move. If I had the opportunity to do it, I would have done something similar. We do have Little Howard rocking the Pat Kelsey glasses right underneath the TV. But, yeah, right now it looks like the 2014 game's going great for Louisville. But I know how this plays out, and it does not end well. So maybe I'll have to search the premises for that control. I don't know if producer Matt was having to deal with this when he was in here, but it's bringing my mood down. But I'm not going to let it. I'm not going to let it happen. It's the game, for God's sake. This is, I mean, you touched on it. It still feels strange as hell. In a lot of ways, it was similar this morning. It wasn't like I woke up and thought, oh, my God, the game's today. I was very aware of the fact that this was the game day. It didn't make it feel any less weird, though, that we're playing this on November 11th. And I think the strangest thing about playing this early is you still don't really have any you kind of have an idea of what these two teams are, but I'm trying to write a preview for this game, and you're going off of 2 games worth of data against complete nobodies for both teams, and you're like, is this really misleading? I was listening to a radio show on the way over here, and they were talking about, I guess earlier today, and they were talking about, Louisville's 6th in the country right now in 2-point percentage defense. Is that because the front court is a lot better than we thought it was going to be defensively, or is it because we've played 2 really bad teams that can't make mid-range jumpers and took a bunch of bad shots? I think it's probably the latter, but that's the problem with trying to go off of stats in a game like this when you've only got a 2-game sample size against nobodies. It's tough to preview.
It is.
I mean, we know, besides the freshmen, we know what Jalen Lowe brings to the table. We've seen him the last 2 years. We saw Otega Owe and Brandon Garrison last year. We've seen Colin Chandler take a step forward, it seems like, this year. Malachi Moreno and Jasper Johnson, are those guys as good and as productive as the first 2 games would indicate, or is that more a product of the competition? I don't know. We have the same questions on our side. Has Kenai Roots really taken a gigantic step forward, or is it just him feasting on crap opponents when the games are already in doubt? Can Michael Brown handle the brightest of lights in a big time? We don't know the answers to any of these questions. Typically, we've got a better idea of what both teams are when this game is being played in late December, and that makes it kind of difficult to talk about. We can talk about the peripheral rivalry stuff. We hate them. It's important for these reasons and all this. But as far as actually breaking down the game, Roman, it's a lot more difficult to do when the game is being played on November 11th than it was when it was being played on December 28th,
Not necessarily guessing, but you're I feel like a lot of the takes your people have, there's not a lot of certainty around those, It's just based on what you've seen in a sample size that could be changed. It could be not a big enough sample size. It could be something that is not going to be the same level of play or the same kind of things that happen in a game when you go up against top-level talent, right? We didn't get a whole bunch of open threes against Kansas. That might be something that happens against talent like this, and we may be completely wrong about how the shooting looks tonight, right? I don't think that's going to be the case, but you couldn't be surprised by it, right? I couldn't, at least, because of what we've seen so far this season.
Do I dare ask this question about your confidence level going into this game?
I think you'll be fairly disappointed.
Oh, well, not if it's respectable. What is it?
What's yours? I want yours first.
I'm right at a 5. Right at a 5. I think it's 50-50.
Okay.
And that's up all week long. I mean,
I'm at about a 6.
I've been leaning towards I think Kentucky's going to win. And today I've kind of flipped. And maybe this is just the fan thing with the instincts kicking in and all this stuff. But I'm right there on the fence. Now, we've got to talk about the biggest storyline of the day We'll get into what this game means to Pat Kelsey, who needs to win more, how this affects the rest of Louisville's season. But there's a weird thing happening today. And I know you're aware of it. We've talked about it. The spread opened up at Louisville -3.5 at the beginning of the week. It dipped to 2.5. I was surprised that it was that high. I know that most of the predictive metrics out there, the Ken Palms, the Bart Torviks, they all have Louisville either winning this game by 1 or losing this game by 1. So I figured Louisville, because it's at home, would open as maybe a very slight favorite, and then it would go to like Pick'em or Louisville by a point or a half point or something along those lines. The spread today has jumped fairly significantly. It got up to 5.5, and I was like, whoa, that's I'm surprised there. I'm sure that it's going to go back down. And now it's up to 6.5. Louisville's a 6.5 point favorite in this game against a team that has very much had its number over the years and that will come to town with the number 1 Ken Palm ranking in the country. I've gotten this text about 15 times today. I'll pass it on to you. What's going on here? What's the deal with the spread? I think it has every Louisville fan a little bit nervous and every Kentucky fan thinking that this is free money for them. What's going on, Roman?
One of those moments where I haven't seen this. I haven't watched it. I didn't get on the books. And then I get 3 texts in like a 10-minute span. Whoa, what's the spread doing? Why are we such a big... I'm like, what? So naturally, I immediately go place the 6.5 plus 6.5 point spread. I placed a bet there.
On Kentucky?
Yep, immediately. And then I go try to figure out what's happening. And I'm on my phone looking like a madman, pacing around my new empty house on my phone, just searching, trying to text people, trying to see what I can find. Don't find anything. And then it starts coming out. I see some tweets about Otega Owe, Mike, potentially being out, potentially not coming to shoot around, not dressed for shoot around, and that he was going to be shooting around later and making a decision later. It seems like those rumors got debunked a bit, and that he was at shoot around.
He's out there at shoot around earlier.
I don't actually know. I have no idea what's going on. Trent Noah was hurt last week.
Trent Noah's not moving the line.
Trent Noah's not moving the line. Owe being out confirmed? Okay. But what's weird about that, Mike, is that if Owe was confirmed out, it'd be more than 3 points, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's video from the shoot around from an hour ago. He's there. He's in the same attire as everybody else. He's shooting around. He looks like he's moving fine. So
I thought he was moving a little slow.
Well, it's shoot around. Everybody's moving a little bit slow. That's the only thing that I think would make sense, because I'm trying to think of what could even happen that would move a line 4 points in a game like this. Even if it's, hey, Jalen Lowe's dinged up again, he's probably not going to play. That shouldn't move the line 4 points in Louisville's direction. Owe may be a little bit different because, preseason SEC Player of the Year, he's there, probably widely projected to be their best player this season. But it still was just I was like, is this about Javon Hadley coming back? I was like, there's no way that's worth 4 points.
Nope, that was my first thought.
I was racking my brain trying to figure out what was going on here. Are we worried about Kentucky players throwing the game? Is this the newest FBI sting? Is that going down? Who the hell knows? But, if I got one text about this, like I said, I think I got 15, and it was UK friends checking in. David Padgett, I think he'd be fine me telling this. He's like, hey, what's up with the spread? Why is it 6.5? And I think every Louisville fan that I've seen has had kind of the same reaction where it's like, this, don't get me wrong, I love it, but this feels wrong. You could tell the average Louisville fan that, Owe, Chandler, both freshmen, Jalen Lowe, they're all out, and I think every Louisville fan would still be like, all right, I feel a little bit better. I still like Kentucky to cover the 6.5 here. We're very jaded when it comes to this rivalry, and for good reason. So
I have a weird feeling, and I don't wish this. I want everybody healthy. I want everybody 100% playing their hardest.
Same.
Something makes me feel like there's a better chance of Owe maybe not playing than people think, or that any rumors could suggest, and that this line's going to get bigger right before the game.
Bigger in our direction?
Yes, and Vegas is trying to save money with the bets coming in now.
That would make sense, I guess. It's still all very weird, but typically, stuff like this doesn't happen for no reason. So It's all very strange. But if you
We're
want,
really supposed to be like 12.5-point favorites, Mike. That's what's happening right now. They don't want to put the line that big because they know they'll start hammering Kentucky.
they're tricking you, just not the way that you
They're
think.
going to bet this, get all this money in on the 6.5, and we're going to go out there, win by 10, win by 11.
By the way, T.J. Walker has confirmed it was their doing. They put the video on, and they hid the remote under the basketball. I never would have found it. The video that he put on initially was one clip from every UK win since '09, and said it's a very long video. I just keep seeing a string of highlights from various games. I just saw Russ Smith miss the dunk at the end of the 2014 tournament game, which was not good. At some point, you just tip your cap. That's a good prank. It's well done. Great rivalry work by Kentucky Roll Call. We hate them, but they're on every day from noon to 2, right here on 1450 The Big X. If you want to feel better about this line moving, how about this from our guy Kelly Dickey? This is the biggest favorite. If this line holds, it's the largest that Louisville's been a favorite since the 2012 game when the eventual national championship winning team beat Kentucky 80-77 in a game where they were a 7-point favorite. It's also the 5th largest that Louisville's been a favorite by since 1988. In those games, though, Roman, since 1988, when Louisville's been favored by 5 or more points, 4-0 in those games straight up. Have not lost any of them.
3-9 against the spread since 1988, straight up win favored, though, Mike. I was DMing Mr. Kelly Dickey today.
I don't care about the spread. I just want to win the game.
I know. I'm just saying.
When we're favored by more than 5 points, which we are, or 5 or more points, which we are right now, 4-0 since 88. I don't care if they cover the spread or not. I just want to win the game. Just want to win the game.
I had to know. I DM'd him. So what's the last 5 matchups that we were favored, and what was the outcome?
It's a rarity. The last time we were favored was that 2020-2021 game when Kentucky was 1-6 or whatever they were and ended up only winning 9 games. And at that point in time, we were looking really good and we were nationally ranked. And I think that was the only time that we've been favored since the 2014 NCAA tournament game that we lost in the Sweet 16. So, more times than not, they've been expected to win. I think their fans, you could tell their fans right now that they're 11-point underdogs in this game. They still expect to win. Now, they'll say that now. If they actually go out there and lose, they'll be like, oh, you guys were supposed to win. You were big-time favorites. But they have the mojo. They've got the confidence. They've got that. We were talking about last night on the podcast. I think UK fans, regardless of what happens, they've now been conditioned just to expect their team to find a way against our team. I'd love to know what that feels like at some point. I'd love to go to sleep the night before the game being like, I don't care what happens, we're going to win the game. I know we are. Because we don't have that as a fan base. We had a national title winning team in 2012 going up against a Kentucky team, and they didn't seem that bad at the time, but they ended up going to the NIT, and we still were terrified that we weren't going to find a way to get it done, and thankfully we did. And that's what, this is years of conditioning at this point. Since John Calipari got the job at UK in 2009, we've beaten one good Kentucky team. We beat the team that won 9 games and the team that with Nerlens Noel that went to the NIT. The only good team we've beaten was that Malik Monk, De'Aaron Fox team in 2016 when Quentin Snyder went nuts. It's been a long time, and I wrote about it today. I know I talked about it on the radio show last Friday. This is the rare area at a program like Louisville, which has a ton of tradition, where Pat Kelsey can kind of carve a niche for himself, where he could be known as the guy that got the better of Kentucky. Because no coach in the history of the program has done that. Denny Crum, 2 national titles, the architect of the program, in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He did revive the series against Kentucky. He won probably the biggest game in series history in 1983, the original Dream game. He still went 7-13 against UK and ended his career kind of getting hammered by Kentucky more times than not. Never won more than 2 games consecutively against the Wildcats. He had a losing record by 6 full games. We know how Rick Pitino fared. He went 6-12 against the Wildcats, 2-8 against John Calipari. For all the success we had under Pitino's watch, the one nagging issue that never got fixed was our lack of success against Kentucky. And even when we did win games, they were always, it felt like, at least after the first couple of years, way closer than they should have been. Pat Kelsey understands the rivalry. He's talked about it. He's played into it. I think he's the type of genuinely basketball insane person that loves this. While it terrifies a lot of us and angers a lot of us, I think Pat Kelsey, this is his world. I think he loves it. If he could find a way to win this one, maybe, just maybe, it gets the ball rolling in a new era where the frustration falls to the other side, where Mark Pope is consistently fielding very, very good to great teams, but can't find a way to beat Louisville more than once every couple, years or so, once every 3 years. I'm not saying we're going to go out there and win like 7 of the next 8, but it would be nice to have the upper hand in the rivalry on a consistent basis for the first time in my life. Maybe Pat Kelsey is the guy to make it happen. But I think there's also a different sort of general college basketball thing at play here. And this will be a storyline that I think Kentucky fans will latch onto, but also some of the at-large people in college basketball will latch onto. The notion that Pat Kelsey kind of can't win the big one, can't win the big game. If you go back and look at all the success that we had last season, we lost against the best teams we played every single time. Lost to Kentucky, lost the game to Tennessee, lost both times we played Duke. We lost to Ole Miss. We beat Indiana and West Virginia, which seemed like really good wins at the time, and then both those teams narrowly missed the NCAA tournament. We beat North Carolina, who made the NCAA tournament, but it was kind of like, they weren't supposed to be in there. He's made the NCAA tournament multiple times at Charleston and Winthrop, but couldn't pull the big upset there. People will start talking a little bit about that if you don't beat Kentucky tonight.
It's like one of the bigger factors in why I'm fearful, Mike. I feel like he hasn't really shown me enough yet in these types of games.
I mean, that's the next step, right? We know he can coach. We know we can put together teams. We know we can install culture. We know we can win basketball games at a level, at the power conference level. Can he be among the elite of the elite? Winning games like this is a big step towards proving that. And forget about the rivalry for just a second. If you're looking at Kentucky is probably going to be the best team we play in our non-conference this season. Right? Cincinnati is not going to be better than Kentucky. Arkansas is not going to be better than Kentucky. Tennessee, Indiana, Memphis. Tennessee I still think is maybe they can be better than people think they're going to be. I don't think that they're going to finish ahead of Kentucky in the SEC standings. And then when you look at the ACC, the only team that I feel like we think is going to be on UK's level this year is Duke, and thankfully we get to play them twice. So just from a resume standpoint, put the rivalry aside, this is a huge game because these wins matter just as much as the ones that you get in late February and early March. Yep. This is a win that will resonate, especially if Kentucky gets Jaden Quaintance back and he winds up being the unicorn inside that they're all hoping he's going to be. This will be a win that you can still stamp at the top of your resume 5 months from now. So there are obvious reasons that this is important to us from the rivalry standpoint and trying to keep our sanity and finally getting the upper hand against Kentucky. But from a purely basketball standpoint, I know it feels early to be talking about resume and stuff like this. This is a huge game for that as well. And, Kentucky, I know it's going to be a home game. I still would expect this to be a quad 1 win when all is said and done. I don't think Kentucky's going to fall outside of the top 25 in the net or anything like that. So for a myriad of reasons, this is more than just an early season game against a quality opponent. This is a crucial game for both the Louisville basketball season and the Louisville basketball program under Pat Kelsey. You got to get it done. We'll talk more about the rivalry after the break. Send your thoughts in on the Game Day Men's Health text line at 502-414-1450. It's the Mike Rutherford Show presented by United Mechanical, 1450-96.1, The Big X. It's the 3 o'clock hour here. Mike Rutherford Show presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus, 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Reminder, United Mechanical and our guy John Burke, they are your trusted partner for commercial and industrial HVAC, electrical, plumbing, and refrigeration services. Give them a call at 502-339-1133 or visit them online at UnitedMechanicalInc.com. I fixed the TV issue. We've changed the video. We're now watching the complete 2016-17 Louisville, Kentucky game.
That tune is the song that they play in their they played in the intro video for the start of the season.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Well done. I like that. Are we switching it up for game day music
I think I've
today?
got some official game day music.
All right. We'll see how this goes.
Some of the songs are shared, obviously.
I mean, you have a lot on the line here. We lose this game tonight. This is the last time we're going to hear these songs on a game day. Just letting you know. Got to win. Can't lose to Kentucky and keep the same music moving forward.
We'll make it happen.
All right. Cards Cats tonight, the latest installment going down at 8 o'clock on ESPN. It feels still weird to be this early, but I think both sides are coming around a little bit. Roman, let's talk a little. I said it's tough to talk X's and O's when it comes to this rivalry, and you've got 2 games between the 2 programs. I mean, respectively, both teams have played twice, and they've blown out lopsided competition. But if you had to pick, give me 2 things that you have your eye on the most tonight and that you feel will wind up deciding this game.
Ooh, I got like 4. I think the main 2.
4. I was just trying to make it easier.
Yeah, I think the main 2 though, Mike, is going to be. I mean, I keep saying. I said it last night on the Real Spill live show. I'm going to say it again. I think I said it on Breakdown 502 last night with Rashawn and Haven Harrington as well. The free throw line. Who shoots more free throws / makes more free throws, but who does a better job of taking advantage of what it means to play in a rivalry game where everybody's going to be a little bit more aggressive than you typically are, a little bit more handsy than you typically are. You've got to take advantage of that. Put the refs on notice early. Michael Brown, Ryan Conwell, take advantage of their ability to get to the lane and fight through contact and force guys to foul you early on, right? And then that's also going to open things up from there. We've seen how this offense looks when the ball's moving from in and out, when you're getting the ball into one of those 2 guys' hands, and then the skip passes and hockey passes start from there, not to mention the off-ball screens and stuff that Pat Kelsey's probably been waiting till this game a little bit to really open the playbook and with what I would assume, which I shouldn't be doing. But I think that's going to be key. Getting to the free throw line, putting the Kentucky defenders out on the perimeter in tough spots early on, because a lot of the sets we do, we get guys the ball with their defender trailing behind them, and you can kind of force contact, right? I'm sure Pat Kelsey's going to look into that just with the defensive effort we've seen from some of these guys on the Kentucky side this season already. That's kind of one thing for me, because I don't want to just start settling for jump shots, right? I want to be able to take advantage of the guard play that we've got. That's the first thing. The second thing.
Let me ask you real quick before you go on. If it's a tightly called game, who do you think that benefits more?
Us.
I do too.
I think we've got more players that can get to those positions.
I think they're more physical.
If it's tightly called in the way that they let us play a little bit, or is that how you mean? Or you mean tightly called like they're
if they
not
call a bunch of fouls?
Yeah, I think that benefits us.
I do too. I mean, I think that they want to be more physical than we do, and I think also we're a better historically, because the sample size early again is very small. We've got guys that have been better free throw shooters than they do. They've kind of struggled at the line their first 2 games, 70.8% as a team. We're over 76%. I'm with you there. All right, second point.
The second aspect is going to be, it is kind of goes into that same aspect of physicality we just went into, but you got to win the win on the glass. I think if you can control the glass in this game, especially offensively, and you give yourselves more opportunities, the depth I feel like should come into play here. I think the Kentucky depth has been talked about a lot, Mike. One thing I think, though, is there's going to be a drop-off in minutes with their depth. They're not going to be having guys come in and out like we do. I think if everybody who's playing for us is rebounding and boxing out as hard as we can, we should be able to win on the offensive glass. And if we can create extra jumpers, that really gives us an advantage in this game. That's kind of where I'm at. The second one is just keep Moreno off the glass, keep Garrison off the glass, and try to do what you can on the offensive glass. Those tip-outs I feel like are going to be key in this kind of a game. And the last aspect is don't let them do to you what Kansas did. We hard-hedged so very hard in the Kansas game, and their ball handlers and decision makers took advantage of it, Mike. Mm-hmm. They got the ball to their big man as our bigs were in recovery, and their bigs converted it down low as well, right? I think Kentucky's going to probably try to do the same thing. They're going to try to take advantage of the Ali Khalifa going out there and trying to hedge on Jalen Lowe. Jalen Lowe's clearly been a willing passer in his time out there in that first game, trying to set his teammates up. So you have to watch that. You got to think that Pat Kelsey or Mark Pope's probably drawing things up to get hockey assists from that as well. So the bigs have to be on their A game, Mike. They have to be on their A game off ball defensively. You can't just be allowing easy stuff at the rim because of slow recoveries on the perimeter, trying to hedge a little bit too hard or too long. That's a really small, specific thing, but I think it's something that they're going to try to exploit over and over.
No, I think you're right. We did a really poor job against Kansas with that, and I think there's still some very legitimate concerns about our ability to be a good team defensively in those types of situations, which leads me to something that I'm prioritizing tonight. And it feels weird to say this in a game against Kentucky because for the past, 20 years, they've been the super athletic team, we got to slow them down a little bit. I think we've got to play as fast-paced a game as we can. I think a super fast-paced game that's won or lost in transition favors us because if they can, they've played fast, but they haven't played as fast as we have so far this year. I think they're 78th in pace. We're 24th or something along those lines. I think they've got better half-court defenders than we do, especially on the outside, assuming that Oweh's healthy and he's good to go. If we have to win the game in the half court, it becomes, I think, a lot more difficult for us to get open looks for our primary shooters. And also, I think they're better at challenging shots around the rim than we are. They're going to be, their guards, I think, are a little bit more physical than ours, which...
A little slower, too.
Little slower, which is why I think you got to beat them in transition. I think if it becomes a half-court game, this is the rare situation where it favors Kentucky in this particular year.
Yeah, it becomes Diabate's game. If you ask me.
He's the type of guy that killed us last year down the stretch. Physical, pushing dudes around, just stronger than our guys that we have down there at that power forward position. But more importantly, I think that they will be able to more effectively limit the open looks for guys like Ryan Conwell and Isaac McNeely in half-court situations than they will in transition. That's where we have the opportunity to kill them and get the best looks. That and off of offensive rebounds, which goes back to your point about trying to control the glass, especially on offense, which that's the other thing, too. If you don't get the offensive rebound and you're as aggressive as I think we're going to be in those situations, you automatically give up 2-on-1 looks for the other team going the other way. And Michael, you run the risk of him getting into foul trouble, and also he's not a great defender right now. So I think we need to run. Try to get looks that way. Try to keep them off balance. I think they'll try to run with us a little bit, but if it starts getting away from them, if we come out like a house of fire and we're knocking down outside shots and they're playing a little bit too fast and Jalen Lowe gets sped up and does some of the things that we saw him do at Pittsburgh, then I think maybe they try to calm everybody down and slow it down and take the crowd out of it by keeping the pace down. I do think this is also a game that the crowd's going to play a factor in. I think that you expect us to have I know the Blue will get in and all that stuff. We'll have a decided home court advantage in this game for the first time since, before Kenny Payne, which will be nice. I think they'll be trying to will this team to victory in a way that they haven't the last couple of years because no one had any sort of belief that we were going to go out there and win this game. So I think that's a big factor as well. And then, we have to say it, Roman, before we move on. Got to make shots.
You have to.
You've got to make shots. It's great to have the great shooters that we have on our roster. Michael can knock it down. We know Ryan Conwell and Isaac McNeely are career 40% three-point shooters. Adrian Woolley shot at above 40% in his one season of college basketball so far. Everybody can have bad shooting nights. If they have bad shooting nights tonight, you're kind of up Bleeps Creek. It is what it is. It's simple. If you work as hard as we'll have to work to get open looks for our best shooters and they can't knock them down, you're not going to win the game. Especially if Kentucky goes out there and they do what they typically do against us, which is have guys shoot abnormally high percentages. Which, by the way, that leads me to my next question. Who's the guy that you're terrified of being that guy? You know what I'm talking about for Kentucky this year.
I got like 3.
Okay, well, we do this every year where it's like, I think it could be like the 11th guy off the bench.
I won't be surprised if Malachi Moreno comes out there, hits 3 threes, gives us a solid 19 and 12. I won't be surprised at all. I wouldn't be surprised at all. Cam Williams has been kind of meh for them, a player that they thought was going to be a kind of a major contributor, which I still do think he will be later on down the line. He was a bit slower in his picking up of the process with Mark Pope's system and stuff. Won't be surprised if he comes out there and has his best game as a cat so far this season against us. Jasper Johnson, right? The other freshman out there that in the same cycle as Michael Brown, he's going to get some minutes. He's going to have the green light off the catch, right? Wouldn't be surprised if he does absolutely nothing in this game other than hits like the 3 catch-and-shoot threes he hits, or 4.
You can't let him do that. That's the one thing that he can do really, really well. You can't let him go out there and catch and shoot. If we do, I'll be pissed off.
With that being said, though, we all know it's going to be Colin Chandler.
Here's the thing, though, about the guy that typically goes off. It's usually someone that's not a great three-point shooter or hasn't been shooting the ball well. Like Lamont Butler had made 7 threes all season before he went off against us last year and made, 8 in that game or 7 in that game,
6,
whatever.
yeah.
Was it 6?
Yeah.
Chandler's their best three-point shooter right now. He's 8 of 15 through 2 games. He's been great from the outside. The guy that I've kind of circled that is terrifying is Denzel Aberdeen, because I think he's a very good player. I think he was a very underrated pickup for them. I think everyone just kind of glossed over when they were able to steal him away from Florida. And he's the classic jack of all trades type player. He does everything pretty well, but maybe nothing elite. But if you leave him wide open from 3, Roman, he can get super hot, and he can turn a game on its head. If you're overly focused on guys like Owe or Chandler or Jalen Lowe, he can be that guy that you didn't really game plan a ton for, that just whoops your ass by hitting 6 threes and taking your game plan and ripping it to shreds. And he's coming off of a 1-for-5 shooting performance against, he was 1-for-5 in the first game against Nichols from 3, and then only took 1 against Valpo and made it. So not shooting it great to start the year, that's the guy that I circle and say, please, for the love of God, do not let him see the ball go through the net early and get that level of confidence and then continue to leave him open, because I feel like we're not going to be overly focused on him because he hasn't been quite as lethal as Chandler or Owe or Jalen Lowe throughout his career so far. But Cam Williams also terrifies me coming off the bench.
Yep.
I mean, you're right. It's everybody. The most obvious selection is Jalen Lowe, just because we've spent the entire offseason telling UK fans how bad he is at shooting, and he's turnover prone at Pitt, took terrible shots, and he's a career 28% three-point shooter, whatever it is, and they've come back at us with, but he's never been surrounded by this level of talent and all that stuff. If he goes out there and knocks down like 7 threes tonight, it's just it's gonna be a very tough look for all of us. There's gonna be nothing. We've got no pivot at that point. It's just, this is another year. It's another crazy guy going off, and we just have to shut up for a year. So we can't let that happen. That can't be the case. What else is standing out to you? You said you like 4 things. Anything else that we have not discussed as far as things that we need to do well to put ourselves in the best possible position to win this game?
No, not really. I mean, just Michael Brown just taking good shots, playing in the flow of the game, not thinking that he has to go out there and prove anything necessarily, and we should be all good.
I think this also has
going to have too many turnovers, foul too much, things that always happen in Kentucky games.
I think this also, there's a combustibility factor in this game. I feel like there's a lot of tension going into this game on both sides. So much so that I'll almost be surprised if there isn't at least like a minor dust up at some. I mean, U of L, the official U of L pregame video that they put out on social media last night had a bunch of highlights of like the past dust ups that we've had, which I thought was a little bit interesting. Typically, you don't see universities like kind of focusing on players going at it physically during a game, but we had the famous Jamal McGlure, the T. Will versus Ramel Bradley, Boo Brewer flipping Sean Woods on his head, and last year's Brandon Garrison thing. It was I mean, when you've got Case and Pryor throwing gasoline on the fire, and they've got a couple of guys that are also, they run hot, especially Garrison. and Pat Kelsey and Mark Pope, I think they're both going to be dialed up. I'll be surprised if there isn't something that happens tonight at some point that just gets everybody going a little bit. Like this feels like we talked about last year when there was all the cordiality between Kelsey and Pope, and it was a new era, and it was tough for both sides to hate the other just because Mark Pope had never really given us any sort of reason to dislike him, and Kentucky fans had no feeling whatsoever with Pat Kelsey. This feels like the moment where things are about to take off. You knew it was going to happen. You knew that there was going to be something that took place that made the fans start to hate the other side. I mean, the fans always hate each other. But you knew there was going to be something that happened that made UK fans hate Pat Kelsey and Louisville fans hate Mark Pope and kind of fire off this new era of the rivalry between new head coaches. And you've had a little bit of that already with the Tay Kinney recruitment kerfuffle, if you want to call it that. And then now the case in Pryor, Ephraim. I think something happens tonight that we look back at this and it's like that's the first moment that the rivalry really took off.
100%. I bet it's in the first 10 minutes of the game.
It might be pregame, or it might be after the game. I don't know. Also, I don't know how people are going to feel about this because sometimes people want to do the high road stuff or the classy thing. I think if we win, the Ephraim tagline kind of takes off. I mean, do we think that? I think the fan base kind of adopts the case in Pryor, the Ephraim. Like we've like you said all week. We've always sort of been kind of the meek, like let's take the high road, let's try to. And I know Kentucky fans are rolling their eyes. But we've always tried to kind of don't say anything to ignite the fire. And we've gotten our ass kicked consistently. Now we got a guy coming out here and being like, we're going to win, bleep them. I feel like if this results in a W, the fan base kind of rolls with the tagline there.
I may have a tweet or so lined up.
Just saying F them?
Yep.
I mean, I think a lot of people might. I think it may become a thing if you win the game. But you got to go out there and win the game before you can do any of that. Couple of notable nuggets here. Louisville 10-14 all-time in home games against Kentucky. They've had a lot more success at home than they have on the road against these guys. How about this? The team that's won the shooting percentage battle in this game has won 15 of the last 17 games in the series, which leads me back once again to the controversial point. Got to make shots. Got to make shots. Louisville shot 44% in the game last year. Kentucky shot 58%. Kentucky wins by 8. This will be the first time since 2019 that both teams have been ranked in the AP Top 25 poll for this game. Obviously, we had our struggles. We were ranked in 2020 when we played, and they were not. I think since then they've been ranked every time this game has been played, and we have not. So it's nice to have this feel not just like it's a big deal here locally, but it's the game of the week in college basketball and one of the games of the non-conference season in college basketball. Louisville all-time 98 and 89 against members of the SEC. Also, favorites have failed to cover the spread in 11 of the last 16 meetings between these two teams.
That's why I took the +6, everyone. Don't think we're going to win. Just think it's going to be close.
Kentucky was favored by 12 last year. We covered. We won by 8. They've had a lot of times over the years where they've been heavy favorites, and we've kept it, I guess, closer than people thought we were going to. Also, when we have been favored, we've not covered the spread. So maybe take the points. Is the spread still holding at 6.5, by the way?
Yeah, from what I've seen.
Nuts. Absolutely nuts. I just checked again. Very, very strange. Last stat, if you want to feel comfortable, if it's a very close game in the second half, but we're leading heading into the final TV timeout, under Pat Kelsey, Robin, Louisville is 29-0 when they have a lead with 5 minutes to go. We're closers. We finish these things out. If we have a lead in the last 5 minutes tonight, trust Pat Kelsey to make the plays necessary to get us to the finish line. Let's go. It's a big day here. We're going to take some early text at 502-414-1450 because it's the Game Day Men's Health text line. We want to make sure that everyone has their thoughts heard on a rivalry day. Although the texts still aren't coming in.
Yeah, a couple blanks.
Got a couple blanks. Most of them are coming in, but a couple of you're going to have to resend this. But let's get to it. Papa J's text. We need a good Papa J text to kick off the text line. I feel good about this. It says, Mike and Roman, you guys are the absolute best in all the land. My son wrote this poem. It's long, but I thought you may like it. He's a graduate of U of L Law School. Here we go. I'm a cardinal, born on the snowy banks of the Ohio. I bleed red from morning till dark. And most damning of all, I refuse to apologize for any of this. And yet, if tonight teaches us anything, it is that convention has held us back. We have bowed at the altar of caution, and we have paid a mighty price. Too many working Kentuckians cannot recognize themselves in our rivalry, and too many among us have turned to the Wildcats for answers as to why they've been left behind. We will leave mediocrity in our past. No longer will we have to open a history book for proof that our Cardinals can dare to be great. Our greatness will be anything but abstract. It'll be felt by every Louisville family who wakes up knowing their Cardinals haven't lost in the last month. It will be felt by each grandparent who can afford to stay in the home they raised their kids in and whose grandkids live nearby because NIL fixtures didn't push them out to Lexington. It will be felt by the single mom who's safe on her commute down Bardstown Road and whose Tark bus runs fast enough that she doesn't have to rush to the Yum Center. And it will be felt when Louisvillians open their Courier Journal in the morning and read headlines of victory, not defeat. Most of all, it'll be felt by every Cardinal fan when the program they bleed red for finally bleeds black back tonight.
Love it.
I love it, but nobody's opened a paper tomorrow morning. When's the last time you popped open a Courier Journal paper in your hands?
At least 15 years.
I was going to say ever. I don't know. I think newspapers were already not a thing when you were like at the age when you started reading.
We used to get the paper. I never opened it.
I used to take it to school, and those were the last days. And it's been a long time since I was going to
Took
school.
the paper to school?
Yeah. I mean, morning, I took the sports section every single morning and read it during free period. It was the only way to read it back then.
Yeah.
I'm old.
I was reading ESPN on my phone in high school.
See, we didn't have smartphones back
Reading
then.
articles.
My phones, we weren't allowed to have phones, period.
It's
but our
crazy
phones
to think
just,
that
just texted.
I've probably done more. I've definitely done more sports reading virtually than I have on real paper.
Yeah. Texter says, this is Roman Hater. I don't know if my text yesterday got missed or came in blank, but as you had 8,465 other texts to read, I get it. I think the weirdest part of the show yesterday was Roman consistently saying we need to play Antonio Harris at quarterback. My brother in Christ, he's a defensive back who also played wide receiver in high school. What are you saying? Anyways, Pat, we need you tonight, buddy. Go Cards.
Throw him out there, Mike. He
doesn't care.
Look, he had a couple games this past season. He had to play quarterback for Male, I'm pretty sure. I don't know how many times he threw the ball.
You're not wrong.
I don't think he threw it very, very much. But he can catch a snap. He can run it. Throw him out there.
Look, we started Tutu Atwell at quarterback against Kentucky a few years ago. We could throw Antonio Harris back there. He's done it before.
You guys want to save Deuce like he's this hidden gem.
Dexter says, this Screwtator, I'm nervous as hell, but I hate the bleepers. It's the effers. It's not. I don't know. Beat Kentucky, go Cards. Texter says, football text. Can everyone already saying that the season is over please tell me how many 7-2 starts we've had in the history of our program? This still could be a really fun, maybe even special season. It's important for everyone to show out and support the team rather than just act like everything's already over. It's a so here's my question. And I think it's a fair one because the texter's right. We've had very few double-digit winning seasons in the history of our program. But in this modern era with the college football playoff being, without question the biggest deal in the sport, is it possible for a program like Louisville to have a special season that doesn't end in the CFP?
No.
I don't think it is either.
No.
I think you can have a good season.
But that's not fair to every fan, Mike. I feel like that's
it's our opinion.
It's specific to your experience as a fan because
for sure.
For me, I've only been a fan of this level like 5 years now. I've been watching it get massively improved year after year, kind of, these last 2 years,
I mean, I still think, and I know it's not as straightforward as it being the top 12 teams in the sport, but they take 12 teams to the CFP. If you go 10-2 and you finish like number 14, number 15, and you've got a bowl victory over a good team, like that's the big issue, though, is the bowl games just don't matter as much anymore because nobody plays in them. I just think going 11-2 with a win in the Tax Slayer Bowl over a 7-5, 8-4 LSU team that has half of its starters not playing, it just doesn't.
Now,
It doesn't feel the same as like the Orange Bowl season in '06 or even the Sugar Bowl season in 2012.
Now, in that same season, if you handle Kentucky, it makes up for it a little bit. But it's still, it's just not.
I think you can have a good season, maybe even a great season. The word special, though, I think that takes it to a different level. And I don't think now, and again, it's a personal opinion, but I don't think in this modern climate that you can have a special season at a program like Louisville if you're not competing in the college football playoff. I think the special is reserved for the elite of the elite, the top 1% of all-time seasons. And for us now to have a top 1% type season, I think you've got to go to the playoff.
You're able to get college football playoff-esque talent now, Mike. I mean, you've got Isaac Brown, you've got Duke Watson, you've got Chris Bell, you've got Colin Lacey. Clev Lubin, Wes Bailey, Stanquan Clark. He hasn't been playing, but there's a lot of players on this team that would, if they weren't here, they'd be on college football contending teams or playoff contending teams right now. And
yeah.
I think we're finally, I feel like, based on what the resources we have, that's like not an unrealistic expectation now.
I do like,
it's still an expectation that's not something that should be easy to achieve. That's what's kind of hard about that take, because I'm not saying it should be easy. I'm not like saying that's what should be happening, but that doesn't, just because it's hard doesn't mean I shouldn't let anything less be a non-special season to me. A special season means going and competing in the postseason for something that matters.
I do like that our fans now are getting more into the scenarios of us still being able to make the ACC title
Not doing
game.
it yet.
I'm not either. If we win Friday, though, I'm just letting you know I'll be paying attention on Saturday. We got to go to break. When we come back, more from you on the Game Day Men's Health text line. It's Rivalry Tuesday here on 1450 The Big X. We're back after this. I like that we cut off TJ there. A commercial.
That time of year.
It was perfect. It was perfect timing. The TJ Walker talking about the importance of them beating Florida commercial. Suck it. It's rivalry day. We're talking cards here for the next 3 hours on 1450 and 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. It is Louisville, Kentucky Battle of the Bluegrass Day. The Cards and the Cats will get it underway at 8 o'clock inside the KFC Yum Center. ESPN will have the television coverage. Dan Schulman and Jay Billis on the call tonight, Roman. It's the A-Team, and you can listen to it on our sister station, 970 WGTK. At last check, Louisville's still a 6.5-point favorite in this game, which is odd to, I think, everybody on both sides of this rivalry. But we'll see if it holds. We'll see if there's a reason behind it. We'll find out. We'll keep you updated. There's been no news on the Javon Hadley front, has there?
Not anything new that I've seen, no.
I'm going to need you to keep your eyes out during the show. See if we can find anything. No word on Javon Hadley. No word on Otega Owe. We'll find out as we get closer and closer to tip-off. We do know that Owe was with the team during shoot-around today and was participating, so it looked like he was okay at that point, although it's hard to tell much from a shoot-around. We'll keep you updated for the next couple of hours here on the show. We do have an update on a injury in the ACC. This is a wild story, and I don't have the details because it's behind a paywall. But North Carolina riding high after that 13-point win over Kansas on Friday night.
They play tonight, don't they?
Do they play tonight?
I believe so.
Well, they got a little bit of adversity now because Seth Trimble, one of their more accomplished players, has suffered a broken arm in what is being described by Jeff Goodman of the Field of 68 as a weight room incident. Again, the details are behind a paywall. I don't have them, but weight room incident sounds bad. Broken arm sounds worse. This is a guy who was averaging 14.5 points and 5 rebounds and 3.5 assists through the first couple of games, and a guy that was expected to be, kind of the stabilizing veteran presence on this team as the season went on. He's been there for 4 full years, the rare player in college basketball that stays at the same place for the entirety of a college career. And, broken arm, don't know if we see him this season at this point. That sounds pretty significant. And to do it in the weight room, that's
scary.
It's scary, and it's just it's a very – it sounds like it could have been worse, but terrible break for North Carolina this season. Hopefully he'll be fine at some point.
He's going to be one of their better shooters, I thought, right?
Yeah, he's one of their better players overall.
Shooter?
Yeah. Apparently, source to the field – this is via Ty Spalding sends this in. The lat machine wasn't bolted down at all. He was pinned underneath it, and it took 4 guys to get it off of him. Jesus.
Sounds like it definitely could have been worse.
That's also a lawsuit.
Yeah.
Coming your way. That's not good.
At all.
Whew. Just when you think that, things are starting to go right for Hubert Davis at North Carolina, something like this happens, and
that's rough.
That's a pretty significant setback for a team that really couldn't avoid it. They played Radford tonight at 7 o'clock.
Oh, they do play tonight.
Yeah, they play Radford at 7 o'clock tonight. Their schedule is pretty light for the rest of this until the end of the month. They're going to play Michigan State on Thanksgiving on Fox, and then they play at Kentucky right after that, and then they host Georgetown. That'll be a tough 3-game stretch, but they get 4 teams they should be able to handle pretty well at home over the next couple of weeks. But then
shots for Caleb Wilson.
Whew, well, he's a beast. I didn't realize he and Darren Peterson had so much beef. Did you see that quote?
Yeah.
He goes out there.
I like that kind of stuff.
I do too. He goes out there and he's
a little bit better than I thought too.
He scores 24
all-around
points.
Ball skill.
Yeah, he looked really good. He scores 24 points, and they asked him after the game, "What you look like you were playing with more of an edge?" And he said, "McDonald's All-American game. Nobody on my team would pass me the ball, and Darren Peterson was on that team." So, yeah, it was pretty personal.
Which somebody debunked that a little bit. They pulled up the stats.
He was like 0 for 4 with 3 turnovers.
In like 16 minutes of play.
But look, I get it. Whatever you got to do.
He knows what he remembers what it felt like out there.
I'm all for the spiciness,
he has a list.
though.
He says he has a list of guys that he said kill, too, which I thought was kind of crazy. But
What'd he say?
He said he's got a list of guys he's going out there and he's trying to kill them.
I mean, was Mike Hill on his team?
I hope not.
I was going to say, I don't like that one bit because he looks awfully good through the first couple of games. But, yeah, he'll have more of an opportunity to get shots up these next couple of weeks. But not having Trimble, that'll be a big blow for that team.
Yep.
Game Day Men's Health text line is 502-414-1450. It also feels weird that the Clemson game now is sneaking up on us, too, with the short week, getting ready for Friday night.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about it. And we need to win tonight because
we do.
I mean, we can predict the rest of the show, the rest of the week if we don't. I mean, tomorrow is all gloom and doom and people saying crazy things about Pat Kelsey and this roster's not good enough and we're never going to beat Kentucky. And then Thursday, it's still going to be more of the same. And then Friday, everyone's like, well, we're going to lose to Clemson in football and Miller Moss sucks. We need something good to happen to avoid. I can't have that be the rest of the week. Yesterday was brutal. It was understandable, but it was brutal. We need something good to happen. This was supposed to be the biggest stretch during this period of time when football and basketball are coexisting. We need something good to happen. We need a week where we beat Kentucky and then we knock off Clemson for a second straight year. It has to happen. It has to start tonight. We need the good vibes rolling. Come on, Pat. Make it happen, Pat. We need this to get going. I was asking the question earlier. I think we need to do this because every year we do the thing where it's like, who's going to be the crazy random guy that goes off for Kentucky? What if we had a crazy guy go off tonight? Who do you pinpoint? Like, it can't be Michael. I don't think it can be McNeely or Ryan Conwell. If we had a guy go off that Kentucky fans are cursing his name and saying, I can't believe it was that guy 20 years from now.
Sananda Fru, Mike.
Oh, that's a good one. Because they think he stinks.
If he go out there and give me the loudest 14 points and 8 rebounds of his career.
I think it would have to be more than that.
You think so?
It'd have to be like a Josh Harrelson type of where he's like 10 of 11 from the field and scores 22.
No, I don't think so. Give me like 17, just 14 and like a 3. Give me one made 3 in there.
I don't think they remember that, though.
Doesn't miss a free throw. That's what I want.
I'm talking. Well, I mean, I'm not talking about what I want. I'm talking about like an all-time crazy out of the blue performance that Kentucky fans never forget.
I see.
Like the ones that they like Dominique Hawkins and Josh Harrelson and Tyler Hero going nuts.
Yeah,
and
Kobe
Lamont
Rodgers
Butler
comes
last
out
year.
here, hits 5 threes, 5 steals.
I think Adrian Woolley's the guy. I think if Adrian Woolley just, he's kind of been a little bit, maybe not doing quite as much as we thought. If he went out there and just canned like 7 threes, that'd be incredible.
Can Ali Khalifa count?
Oh, yeah, of course.
I want to buy into that storyline a little bit, Mike.
I would love it just because they've been brutal on Ali Khalifa since he signed here. They're calling him fat and they're talking about how Louisville fans think Ali Khalifa is the greatest thing since sliced bread and all this stuff. Like they have acted like Ali Khalifa is the worst player in college basketball for the past 2 years. And if he went out there and had 18 points, 10 assists or something like that tonight, that would be an all-time performance. And the obvious answer is Pryor, though.
Yeah.
For who you'd want to really stick in their craw, it's Pryor. I'm terrified of Kaysen when he gets on the floor tonight, though. Are you like me?
Not really.
Oh, I think he's going to try to do way too much.
And I think we need it. I was kind of with you yesterday a little bit in the sense of thinking about him coming in there and the momentum of the game, not necessarily asking for those kinds of moments of chippiness and stuff. I think we're going to need it, Mike. I think there's going to be maybe, even though it's your home floor, you're feeling like you're the better team, there's still those nerves in that rivalry game against the top opponent. I don't think Kaysen has any bit of those nerves in him right now.
Well, I know he doesn't, which is what terrifies me. I'm not talking about I'm scared he's going to go out there and mix it up.
No, I'm
scared he's going to pump fake, go down the baseline, and try to put the ball between his legs in the air and do a reverse 360 dunk.
And elbow the guy at the same time in the face during the dunk. That's what I want.
Here's the thing.
Give me a windmill elbow to the head.
The problem is he can't do that. He's going to go up there and lose the ball and start a transition opportunity for Kentucky the other way.
Get it blocked on the backboard.
I mean, first of all, he couldn't do it when he was fully healthy. Second of all, he's coming off of an ACL injury. He looked like me walking up 5 flights of stairs after being on the court for 2 minutes last game. I don't. He needs to play within himself, and I think asking him to play within himself is too much when it comes to Kaysen Pryor. So I'm terrified. The mixing it up stuff, I'm fine with. If he wants to go out there and make an impact that way, that's fine.
He will try to dunk on someone tonight, Mike.
Well, I'm terrified. We're going to be up by 6. He's going to have a one-on-one opportunity, and he's going to try to throw the ball off the backboard to himself and reverse cram it and completely screw it up and then lose all the momentum. Every time he gets out, I'm just going to be like, easy, easy, easy. crazy. Like, I'm terrified of what he's going to do when he gets out there. If it works out, it's the coolest thing of all time. But, yeah.
He's pulling out the behind the back. He's pulling it back out tonight.
I mean, Kaysen from the logo, it's like, we're up by 3. We're 5 minutes
behind the back. Yeah. Pull up from the logo. That's.
I mean, if we hear Billis, Pryor from the logo, it's like, no. Why? Stop. I am terrified of what's going to happen when he checks in for the first time. Maybe it works out, though, and if it does, it's best case scenario because it'll drive Kentucky fans insane.
I think we need it.
We need Kaysen pulling from the logo?
Yes.
It's a bold stance. If he makes it, great. Awesome. I mean, imagine if he does that and like, the free reign that he would have in his own mind after making that first shot.
If he makes like a deep one at the end of a shot clock where he kind of had to just throw it up, we're getting some crazy pull up from way too far out. After
God! If he gets in the game and gets like left wide alone and has a wide open layup for his first bucket, the next possession he's going to try something absolutely insane.
Back hesitation. He's gonna think he's Wemby or something.
I mean, you got to know if he makes a wide open layup when he first checks in and you're Michael Brown, next possession you give him the ball, you're not getting it back. He's not throwing it back out there. He's going full Wemby in his mind, and we're just going to have to live with it until Pat Kelsey takes him back out of the game. But maybe it'll work out. We'll see. We kind of need Kaysen in this game.
We need him defensively. I know that.
We do. I mean, he's a better matchup on Diabate, I think, than Javon is, and we don't know Javon's stat. We really need him if Javon's not able to play tonight.
Yeah.
We're also going to need.
Does he start if Javon doesn't play? No.
I think they start Kanai.
Yeah.
I mean, we're going to need Kanai to step up, regardless of if he starts or not, because he's another guy that provides. He's got a bigger frame. He's taller than Hadley. He can help out with, with Moreno inside. He can help out with Garrison inside. He can certainly help out with Diabate.
I know we make the jokes, Mike, but I think it's time for Kanai to be that. You guys might hate me after tonight, guy for us.
Well, he's not going to. I don't think he's going to.
You don't think he has that in him yet?
Maybe from like a performance standpoint, but I don't think he's going to be like talking bleep, going nuts, acting crazy.
Like fighting for rebounds, making his presence felt.
We need him to play with an edge in a game like this.
I think a player off ball like that is kind of who you want doing it, not someone you think is who has the ball and is out there trying to create shots and do too much for other guys. Then it's like, okay, they're thinking about themselves. They're thinking about trying to back up what they just said 3 plays ago, right? Now Michael's pulling from 2 feet away. You don't want him getting chippy, or maybe not even Ryan Conwell, but give me an Isaac McNeely shove.
Give me an Isaac McNeely shove. I love that.
Give me a Kanai. Come down hard on Garrison. He did it last year. We owe him one. I know I keep saying it, and I'm not trying to wish any dirty play upon anybody, but just make your presence felt out there, especially you, Sananda. And Kaysen, keep it under control, but Kanai, you might have to be a little bit of a leader by example in that facet for the big guys tonight.
We need Kanai to be productive, too. And I think this would go a long way towards building his confidence. It's one thing to go out there and get 16-10 against Jackson State. It's another to go out there and get, say, 14-8 against Kentucky. And if he gives this type of performance against this type of team, I think it's a gigantic confidence builder, because we need Kanai this season to step up and be a productive player at the 4 for us to, I think, reach our maximum potential. And I think everybody has the same takeaway from his first 2 games, which is it's great. He looks like a different player out there, but we also saw him kind of look like a ghost against Kansas. He made no impact in that exhibition game, and if this really is, in fact, a sophomore leap type situation, he's going to have to do something in one of our bigger games, and this is his first opportunity to make that happen. So would love to see Kanai have an impactful game tonight against the Wildcats, especially if Javon Hadley does not play. I mean, if Hadley doesn't play, he kind of has to, or we're going to be sort of screwed inside. Game Day Men's Health text line is 502-414-1450. A reminder, Game Day Men's Health, redefining men's wellness, no shortcuts, just results, testosterone, peptides, weight loss, and sexual performance therapy. Visit GameDayMen'sHealth.com today to find out how they're defining a new era in men's health. Where are you watching the game tonight, by the way, Roman?
I'll be at the house. I got Pacers. I got to clock in for Pacers at 9 p.m., so I'll be watching it at home, listening to the Pacers in the background.
Oof. Do you feel okay with that setup?
Yeah, I got a buddy that's coming over to bring some vibes, so we'll have a good celebrating going on.
I like that. Texture says, if Hadley plays tonight, it's Cards by double digits. What did Javon do in the game last year? I started realizing as I was writing about the game last night and today how little I remember about last year's game.
I remember this. I feel like it was a exciting first half.
We got off to a slow start.
Oh, maybe I'm wrong then.
Yeah, I mean, I remember kind of feeling the entire time. It was always sort of close, but it felt like they got off to a hot start, and then they just kind of kept us at arm's length. And we made a couple of runs, but I feel like they were ahead pretty much the entire game. And I mean, I remember obviously the dust up with Brandon Garrison. I remember how well Chucky played. I remember how well Lamont Butler played. But yeah, I mean, I think, let me make sure that I'm not making that up. Yeah, they got out to a 11-5 lead. It was 14-5, and then we never led in the game. We got down by 10 in the first half. We were down by
6 going into that.
Down by 6 at halftime.
We played a better second half.
We did. We made a big run.
It was a run at the end of the first half,
and then we had all the momentum, and then Butler got free for a layup right at the buzzer, and that was a killer. And then it was just, it felt like we were behind by 6 to 8 points the entire second half, and we just could never. We kept getting close, and then the big shot we needed to get over the hump never came.
Devon Hadley, 38 minutes, 10.6 rebounds. It was all Chucky and Terrence for us that game, though.
This was the first game with Terrence where it was like, all right, remember he didn't start in this game.
Yeah, he didn't pass either.
Yeah, like he didn't need to. We needed somebody to score, and yeah, this was we played 7 guys in this game.
That's crazy.
We only played 7 guys because this was the peak of injury concern, and then James Scott fouled out. He was in foul trouble the whole game. James Scott started and played 12 minutes, and we only played 7 guys. Kanai came off the bench and played 13. We had Waterman, Rain, Javon, Chucky, and Terrence all play 30 or more minutes, and Terrence didn't start the game, which is kind of crazy in hindsight. But yeah, he hit 5 of 7 threes. I felt like he was the one kind of keeping us in it. But yeah, no. How about no Waterman? 12 and 12 in the game last year. Put some respect on the man's name.
Was that? I can't remember.
He had 12 points, 12 rebounds, and he was 3 of 9 from 3, which was one of his better shooting games from the outside. Rain didn't do much in this game. 2 of 9 from 3. But yeah, Lamont Butler just absolutely torched us. 33 points.
That was like the start of the Noah Waterman, like his only good 3-game stretch. I shouldn't say only good, but wasn't it?
We know what you mean.
Like he played good in Louisville or against Kentucky. I think he played all right against Florida State, and then he had the game winner against
EKU. Yeah, I think you're right. And then we were like, all right, maybe
his thumb got hurt.
Then he got hurt again. Yeah. And he couldn't shoot. I still love Noah. Didn't love watching him shoot, but personally, he did what was asked. He was a great teammate for us last year. He had to play big time minutes. He did. He did what was asked.
True Cardinal.
Plus his brother's awesome. Texter said, what type of moment will it take for Paul Rogers to lose his voice like Gus Johnson did for the Louisville-Kentucky game tonight? Oh, you give him a buzzer beater, Paul's losing the voice. I mean, Paul's gone crazy before where he's had those types of moments. Did you hear Gus's call for that Indiana game?
No.
So
the touchdown?
Yeah. Indiana
I saw it on the highlight.
Yeah, I mean, I'm watching it live. One of the craziest catches I've ever seen. The fact that kid got down, I think both feet, was remarkable because he catches the ball in air. You feel like he's going to drift out of bounds on his own, and then the defender is actively pushing him out of bounds. The way he contorted his body to get those feet back in was crazy.
Yeah.
And then Gus is just, I mean, doing the classic Gus losing it, but that
would have been a touchdown in the NFL too.
Yeah,
I think.
But his voice just completely goes out, and you're kind of like, and then it gets quiet, and I'm like, did that kill Gus? Is he dead? What happened? But Paul will get into it a little bit. If you have those type of moment, I'm sure that he'll bring it. Texas Mike and Roman, it's that time of the year when folks start bringing their Christmas decorations up from the basement. I imagine it's the same for the Braum family. How many times do you think Jeff will hurl the Christmas tree up the steps and watch it slide back down before he picks it up and carries it up the stairs? This text is not about Christmas trees. Go Cards, beat UK. Yeah, the metaphor was clear. I get it. By the way, update on
Got the big dog helping him throw it now, Mike.
We don't need to be throwing it. We just need to be walking it up. We do have an update on the man threatening Jeff, Bryan, and other Louisville coaches and players. Brian Mandel is his name. He's a 38-year-old man from Corpus Christi, Texas. He's now under arrest after making threats to the Brom family, as well as coaches and other players in the Louisville football team. He's been charged with 6 counts of terroristic threatening and 1 count of extortion. I know a lot of people are taking this and running with it and saying, like, crazy Louisville fan that's living in Texas just expressing his frustration. I don't think that's the case. I don't want to go into details, but you can probably connect some dots here. My understanding is this is not a Louisville fan. So make of that what you will. But Rocco Gasparo put out a statement last night saying, we're aware of the recent indictment of an individual who issued threats directed at our head coach, his wife and kids, members of his coaching staff, and student athletes. The safety and well-being of our student, staff, and community remain our highest priority. We commend law enforcement for their swift and decisive action in addressing this matter. Threats of violence have no place in our community or in sports, and we'll continue to work closely with authorities to ensure a safe environment for all. Our student athletes and coaches deserve to compete, learn, and grow without fear. We're committed to supporting them and reinforcing values of respect, integrity, and accountability that define our program. We ask our fans and community members to join us in fostering a culture of positivity and support, both on and off the field. Madness. People are crazy, Ron.
They are. We got into that last night on the Real Spiel show a little bit. Just unnecessary. There's absolutely nothing to gain. We mentioned it yesterday as well.
I watched a little Real Spill last night. Trevor was looking good.
He was.
Smoking cigarettes on live.
Burning them.
In live action. Just going through it. Bringing up references that the three of you other guys had no idea about.
Not a clue.
That's what Trevor does. I mean, he brings up multiple references that I have no idea about, and he's not that much older than I am.
We had a fun show last night. Introduced Matt Childress onto the show, so that was cool.
It was great seeing producer Matt there. Texter says, forgive me, Mike, I'm about to rant. I think the reasoning of not playing Deuce Adams just to save some NIL money for next year or prevent his poaching is the dumbest thing I've heard.
Me too.
If it's just to cover for him not actually being good, then fine. But if he is, it's idiotic. You're making a playoff push now, an ACC championship push now, achievements that themselves pay out a lot of money and elevate your program. Why on earth would you make your current team worse just to save far less money in future NIL than you'd earn from accomplishing those goals? Well, I think the conversation yesterday was not taking into account the playoff push. I think we were kind of assuming we're out of it and, like, what do you have to gain at this point? Just throw them out and get ready for next year. And to be fair, like, I was playing devil's advocate, throwing that out there. I've got no idea if that's a legitimate concern from Jeff Brom or if that's coming into play at all.
I would disagree with him. I would think that you would what you just saw Saturday thinks that gives you your best chance at continuing on with your playoff push. You're as good as out if you get a performance like that again.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think we all agree with that. But the question is, I mean, one,
you're not going to risk Deuce because the playoff chance is still alive is what could be happening, the texter says?
No. He's saying that you need to risk Deuce because the playoff chance is still alive.
Oh, I see.
He's saying, to hell with that, which I agree with. If that's the case, if in fact that Jeff is, like, not wanting to show his hand and is worried that Deuce is going to go out there and light it up and drive the cost up for his NIL, and he's willing to sacrifice that for the chance of making the playoff, that would be ridiculous. And I don't think for a second that that's what's happening. None of us know how good Deuce is. All I've done is hear things. I've seen him throw it a little bit at practices. I've seen him throw it a little bit at spring games. We've seen him play very sparingly over the last 2 years in actual games. We don't know how good he is. If he is, in fact, like, better than Miller Moss in practice and they believe he's going to be the future of the program, then yeah, I'd like to see him play on Friday night. It's a tough spot, though, to throw him out there Friday night, kind of season on the line. Season may already be done. We don't control our own destiny now. We need a ton of help.
If Miller's your starter, your season's done.
I mean, probably, yeah. I think with a healthy Isaac Brown,
okay,
I mean, hell, like,
you'll be in games, yeah.
As bad as he played, we still should have won both games that we've lost this season. And I get that we would have won those games by more if we'd had competent quarterback play. But it's not like Miller Moss has gone out there, tossed. Like, I still think we could win these last 3 games with Moss. I wouldn't bet on it. I don't feel overly confident about Friday night. But Deuce Adams is a gigantic unknown. I think we know more about what there is with Brady Allen. And I don't think Brady Allen's better than Miller Moss. I think Deuce Adams might be. I think if he's the future of the program at quarterback, he better be.
I think if there's a chance, Miller's proven he's bad enough to go figure it out before spring camp next season.
My big concern, and I really try not to sound overly mean, but I think we're all of the same belief that Miller Moss struggles with the mental aspect of this, right? Like we feel like he's a little bit mentally fragile. He knows he hasn't played well the last 3 weeks.
Also, not sure if he can actually throw the ball 50 yards or not.
That's a big part of it too. Having
not to even be mean, but
having a noodle arm is not ideal for a starting quarterback at this level. Like, I kind of worry. He's seen the stuff that's been said and written in the last 48 hours. Does he have the mentality necessary to bounce back from that and even play like a game manager type role on Friday night against Clemson? I'm not sure. Like, maybe he's just completely unraveled at this point, and you've got to go with Deuce. But we'll find out in a few days. We're keeping it mostly basketball focused here today. 502-414-1450 is the Game Day Men's Health text line. We'll take more of your texts and continue the talk about Louisville versus Kentucky after the break. Keep it locked right here. 1459-61 The Big X.
Anybody in front of us, we guarantee to win.
Malik Monk got a really good look in the final seconds to potentially tie the game. And I think the entire fan base was in a collective state of shock when that shot didn't go in and we realized that we'd actually won. I remember all the videos that people sent in of themselves reacting to the win and being like, oh my God, I can't, we beat him. We beat him. I can't believe it. Not saying that tonight would have a similar feel with us being favored to win this game, but it would be nice to beat a good Kentucky team. Oh my God, Bam Adebayo just absolutely baptized poor Honest. I'd forgotten that happened in this game too. But yeah, would love to beat a good Kentucky team for the first time in a long while. Let's get it done. We're 4 hours away from tip-off. How the nerves feeling, Rome?
Feeling pretty good.
I'm feeling pretty nervous.
Who? Somebody for us dunked on Bam, didn't they?
Quentin Snyder made him fall to the ground.
Crossed him. That's right.
That was the big play when Quentin Snyder made him kneel to the ground and look like a baby.
Yeah.
By the way, the KSR crew, they've made their pregame picks, and only one of them has picked Louisville to win the game.
Saw this.
Our boy, diehard Cardinal fan, Nick Roush, is predicting an 81-80 Louisville victory. Roush is it's not even a joke at this point.
He loves the Cards.
He's a legit card. He was watching the Boston College game with Aunt Donna, Brian Brahm's mom, Jeff Brahm's mom. He's watching the game with the whole Brahm family. He's a Brahm.
His wife is a U of L volleyball alum, right?
Yeah. I mean, he's a cousin to the Brahms. His wife played volleyball at Louisville. He'll never admit it, but deep down, he cheers for Louisville football now when they're not playing Kentucky. He's picking us to beat UK in basketball. I mean, Roush is going to co-host the show starting in like 5 months. He's going to be in here every single day. He can't stay away from the Big X. But every other member of KSR picked Kentucky to win. Although none of them, it looks like, have Kentucky winning by a healthy margin. I think the widest margin is 5 points. I don't know a lot of the KSR people anymore. I know Tyler Thompson and Drew Franklin. I know our boy Stephen Peak, who now is hosting with TJ in the afternoons. I don't know many of the other ones now. It's a different era. It's a different world. Game Day Men's Health text line, 502-414-1450. Let's have more thoughts from you guys as we continue to count down the minutes and the hours until tip-off between Louisville and Kentucky. Texter says, hey, Roman, are you planning to go to the game tonight? If so, I'll give you $100 if you find Matt Jones in the Yum Center and slap him in the face.
If I was going, I wouldn't be able to accept this offer.
Would you slap somebody for $100 that you don't know?
Not 100, no.
How much money would it take for you to slap Matt Jones in the face?
Well, that's the thing. Like somebody that I know but that doesn't know me, in this field of work, it would be a lot. $700.
That's it. Would you slap Matt Jones and run away?
I'd hit him in
For
the back.
$10K.
I'd hit him in the back of the head for $10.
$10?
I mean $100.
$100?
You know, like how your dad does when you tells you not to touch something in the place, and you touch something and it breaks.
Just a little smack in the back of the head?
Yeah.
Okay.
Told you not to touch anything.
Yeah. Texas, who do you think Rick Pitino and Steve Masiello will be rooting for in tonight's game? Also, Roman skipped over my previous. Okay, we read it. I don't know. Probably. I think Stevie Mass probably roots. I think they both root for Kentucky, honestly. I think Rick pulls for Louisville now, but I think he's still. It's more recent in his mind. I think he can't get over the fact that we fired him and locked him out of his office when he was trying to leave and didn't treat him the way that he expected to be treated when he ended up being cleared by the IR. I think he still has more feelings of ill will towards Louisville than he does towards Kentucky at this point. Texas, me and my girlfriend, not from around here and has only lived in the area for 3 years, are going to the game tonight. I've been struggling to find a way to describe to her what the environment is going to be like. We went to the Clemson home game last year, and I think she thinks that it'll be similar to that. How do I best prepare her for what it's actually going to be like?
You can't really prepare her.
I mean, it's like and I hate analogizing sports to war, even though people do it all the time. But it is sort of like if you were a Civil War general that had fought in a battle, and you got a bunch of new recruits that just signed up, and they're all like, I can't wait to stab somebody. I can't wait to shoot somebody. You can't prepare them for what it's going to be like. You can't prepare them for that level of carnage, for that fear, that trauma that's coming your way. Again, that's a little bit dramatic. But I think that's the same type of hike up in intensity that you're going to see if you go from last year's Clemson game to this year's. And there's just nothing like it in college basketball. I know Duke Carolina has a level of excitement, but it's different when you're only playing one time a year. And it's different when I think the two fan bases despise each other to the level that these two fan bases do. It's a different feeling in the building because, I mean, if you're a Duke fan and Carolina comes into your building and beats you, you're like, all right, we'll see you guys in 2 weeks. And Duke and Carolina fans are more or less the same. I know that they don't want to hear that. I know they don't. Louisville and Kentucky fans are not the same. They're just not. It's a very, very different vibe in this game because you're like, oh my God, we lost. I'm going to hear about this every day for the next 12 months from family members, friends, colleagues, classmates, whoever. It's such a feeling of despair. If you're Duke and Carolina, even if it's the second game of the two, you're like, well, we can play them in the conference tournament in a week. Let's go. You don't get that with this game, and I think it leads to a different air of desperation for both teams when the game actually happens. By the way, shout out to the YouTube channel there. We've got a decent amount of comments. We got a terrorist out there who's
commenting on there?
Infiltrated the YouTube chat. Yeah. Also, someone says we don't have audio. I think we have audio.
I caught him, yeah.
Texture says, Mike, I watched Red v. Blue last night, and it got me in the mood. How old were you in that doc? You looked like a child. I have the very first line of that documentary. You go watch it.
How'd you get that gig?
I mean, they sat me down they asked me to do an interview for the documentary.
Oh, you're not actually a kid.
No, I'm like, this was like 14 years ago.
Okay, I see.
I think, like,
I'm thinking you're like 7 years old or something.
No. This was, I was doing Card Chronicle. I was on the radio and stuff, but I was not, it was, I think it was, I want to say it was like 2011, maybe 2010. I did look young. We did that in Denny Crum's office. We did that interview in Denny Crum's office.
I need to watch that.
Which was cool. It's good. Adam Lefkoe helped produce it. Those guys it was very well done. They were trying at the time to make it into like a 30 for 30. I think they had a deal with ESPN, and it kind of fell through. But it's definitely worth watching if you're trying to get a feel for the rivalry in this part. Although it is kind of more focused on that current climate with the Pitino Calipari and both teams winning national titles, and because I think it came out in 2013. But yeah, I definitely look a lot younger. The thing that sucked was when KET was advertising it being on, they had this. They would like take ads out on Instagram, or when you're flipping through a website and you see like the generic ad. Some of those were for that documentary, and it was a still frame of my face looking ridiculously bad. It was just me talking with my hands, and it was not a flattering photo at all. And I was like, why is this the picture? They had Denny Crum's in the damn documentary, Joby Hall's in the documentary. Use them. You don't need me. And if you do, make me look good. It was terrible. It was awful. Texture says, incredibly excited for the game now that it's game day. I heard Roman say the game didn't really mean much to him last night. Have you changed your mind, Roman? Also, did you know Trevor's connection to Chad Johnson? Yes. Trevor's told that story 55 times.
Told it last night.
He and Chad Johnson are Eskimo brothers.
Yeah.
He's very, very
Him and
proud
another
of that.
guy are, too, that I forget who he was saying. And I didn't explain that very well last night. And what I was trying to say is, and it's kind of something we brought up at the beginning of this show, Mike, I think for me personally, the more important aspect of what I get to watch tonight is if you, like, everything about this game, if you take the name away, if you can take Kentucky's name away from it, from this game and leave all of the numbers, leave everything else, I'm really, really, really excited to see how our guys match up against that type of ranked set of guys. I really want to see how we match up and how we stack up against a team that's supposed to be really, really good. Now, the rivalry aspect of it, something about November 11th just kind of takes that way just a little bit for me, Mike. Just a little bit, knowing everything's going to be, not everything, but all of the positives are going to ideally be better for both of these teams going forward, and they're going to try to limit the negatives going forward. You're not getting the best team November 11th more times than not in college basketball. So that's where it's just like, yeah, if we win, I still would like to see them with JQ in a fully healthy lineup and see what that looks like after we've gotten to also play and get, all of our guys with multiple games playing together. But outside of that, it's a big game. There's no question on that. But I just think that something about it being played this early in November, when you know that there's going to be so many differences this season throughout these two teams that aren't going to be the same tonight, that's where it's like, I'm just glad that we've got a quad one opportunity and a chance of winning it here. So that's the priority more so than like beating up Kentucky.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the nerves for this game and the excitement for this game, for that matter, they're not all rooted in the rivalry. There are real deal ramifications here from just a pure basketball standpoint, and I think part of it is
We can't be certain the ACC is going to be that much better.
no, you can't. I mean, we talked about the importance of this from a resume standpoint, but I think we're also, we've watched this team beat up on two bad teams, and they look good in the process, but we also remember the only team that they've played this year that is supposed to be any good is Kansas, and they got kind of manhandled in that exhibition game. Now, maybe that was a product of it being the first time out for some guys, and maybe we weren't, treating it the way that we treat an actual game. All those types of excuses. But I think there's at least a little bit of doubt in everybody's mind about this team right now, just because of that one exhibition game. It was great that they came out and they responded well and played Bucknell well, and it's great that they beat up on teams the way that they were supposed to in the first two games of the regular season. But we want to think that we're more than just a good basketball team. We want to think that we can compete for a national title. And if you can compete for a national title, you should be able to compete against teams like Kentucky that comes in right now with the number one Ken Palm ranking in the sport. So, yeah, I mean, I think that there's a little bit of doubt in everybody's mind. Like, are we as good as we want to be? And you want that confirmed with a win over the Cats tonight, even if they're, like you said, the name on the front of their jersey was Duke or whoever.
I'd feel the same exact way about how important this game is.
There's a rivalry element that I can admit affects me a lot more than I wish it did. I want to win the game tonight more than just because it's a good team that's going to help our resume. I want to win it because it's Kentucky, and I despise everything about them and all of those reasons. I'm not going to act like that's not a part of it for me. And I'm not going to act like it's also not a part of the fear, because you have to hear about it yet again for another year if you don't go out there and win this game. And you're asking Pat Kelsey to go out there and try to snap a losing streak now next season in a place where we haven't won since Billy Gillispie was the coach. So it feels like from a rivalry standpoint, you need to get this one, but also from a just trying to be the best we can be this season standpoint, you need to go out there and get this one. I mean, we don't have a ton of like these non-conference games that we're playing this season. We have one other that's at home. That's another part of it too. We play Cincinnati in Cincinnati. We play Indiana in Indianapolis. We play Arkansas in Fayetteville. We play Tennessee in Knoxville. The only big non-conference game we have at home besides this one is the game against Memphis State. And by the way, they probably should have lost to San Francisco in their season opener over the weekend. Not sure exactly how good they're going to be this year. So for that reason, you need to kind of take care of business tonight, because you don't get another big-time opportunity at home against a non-con opponent until over a month from now when we play that Memphis game. Texture says, we paid a top dollar for one of the best backcourts in the country. It's time to earn that money. I don't expect a blowout, but if anyone runs away with it, it's U of L. Our shooting keeps us in any game, and I think we're more capable of rattling off 4 or 5 threes in a handful of possessions. Mo Diabate is the biggest matchup problem for us because of his size, but I'm the most comfortable with Hadley taking on that challenge more so than any other guy for U of L. What do you think about that, Roman? Is Hadley the best guy to handle Diabate if Javon ends up playing tonight?
Yes, I think so. I think Javon's had a lot of experience with guarding different types of players. You know what he's a little bit stronger than he looks, holds his ground. He's not going to give up an inch without you fighting for it. So that's that aspect of him being able to do that under control without getting over aggressive and without fouling more times than not. I do think that that's a factor, but in terms of just straight up size, I mean, Diabate could get his fair share of points over Javon Hadley, I feel like.
I do too.
So naturally, you're going to have to throw multiple guys at him. He's the kind of, he's going to get, not necessarily like break his man down from the top of the key or anything like that, but he's going to try to get into the paint with keeping his dribble alive, use his shoulders and stuff, and just his overall leaping ability. He's got pretty good hands, I think, as well. So it's if out on the perimeter, yeah, Javon should be able to hold his own. But out down low, Zugris, Frew, Pryor, they're gonna have to throw bodies on Diabate as well.
Yeah, this could be a game where Zoo gives us meaningful minutes. If if Diabate and Garrison, they're kind of having their way, like maybe this is a game. Like Zugris brings a level of physicality that I think Javon just can't bring because of his size, and maybe that Roos doesn't really have in him just yet. We could use Zoo out there in this game.
I wouldn't fear Kanai on Diabate. I think Kanai maybe is going to give up some inches because of his weight, not being able to necessarily hold his ground down there on the block. But I like Kanai's leaping ability and anticipation with that kind of wingspan, Mike. He's already shown he can contest shots. So Diabate is kind of one of those guys you just got to throw a couple different bodies out there at him and not let him ever get anything comfortable.
I agree with that. Texture says 502-414-1450. STL Cody guy says, how could you, Roman? Betting on Kentucky?
Taking the points. Just taking the points. I think it's going to be a close game. I gave you the numbers, and since 1998, Louisville not having the best success at covering the spread when favored. Granted, winning more wins than losses, but not necessarily always covering their 3.3 points per spread short or something like that, according to Kelly Dickey. So I think it's going to be a close one. I think this should be a lot closer to 2.5, 3.5, even if Oway's maybe not at 100%.
Texas says, 1, if we bring in a transfer QB again next year, I'll be pissed, spend money everywhere else. 2, it feels like all of our losses to bad teams since Jeff has been here is mostly due to his inability to commit to running the ball.
Yes!
And kind of the Pitt game 2 years ago, definitely. I'd say both games this year. Yeah. Last year, a little bit less.
Stanford, you didn't have much of an option.
3, it's driving me crazy that we don't involve Chris Bell in deep passes. Well, we can't throw the ball deep. That's the problem. He's being used like Wes Welker. I know Moss stinks, but maybe once a game, just try to hit a 7-step drop and let it rip to Bell down the sidelines. Let him try to make a play.
They double when he runs those routes.
Yeah. And we don't get the pass off. 4, where's Deuce Adams been since that Miami game? Why has he not used that package? We watched slow-ass Evan Conley get carries every week 2 years ago. 5, beat UK, F him. We used Deuce in one of the 2 games, not last game, but either the Boston College or the Virginia Tech game. We had him out there on a 4th down play, and he got stopped, remember?
Yeah.
It was Virginia Tech. It was Virginia Tech, because I was flipping
4th and
out.
1, he didn't get it.
We had 3rd and 1. We tried to run it. He didn't get it. We didn't get it. And then we had 4th and 1. And everyone was like, sneak. And we ran
the pitch and didn't get it. And it's funny because he faked the pitch, made a good cut, and then still let the defender grab him.
Yeah. That was the last time we saw Deuce. So he's been out there since then, and it didn't go great. But yes, F him. There you go. Texter says, Riddler here, F him. Much less verbose than we're used to from the Riddler. Dave, teacher from Jeffersonville, your text didn't go through. Sorry. Another texter saying, why the F would Roman bet on UK? I'll send him $100 if he will sit at home, watch 80s movies, and polish up on his Cardinal knowledge. Bring Trevor back.
Taking the points.
Texter says, just win the game. You sound like KP, Mike. Let's go blow their asses out. No, don't put that on me. I'm just saying, it's not like I said, hey, I would rather win by 1 than 50. That's what Kenny Payne was saying because of his ties to UK. He's like, I just want to beat him by 1 because I love Calipari and I still love BBN.
And didn't he say, I know Calipari probably wants to beat us?
Yes. He was like, I know John feels differently. I was like, dude.
Cornball.
Why? I want to win. I want to win by as many points as possible. But at the end of the day, I don't care how it looks as long as we win. As long as we win. I don't care if we got guys that play poor. Ideally, I want us to win 150-2 or 150-1.
Yeah.
But as long as we win, I'm going to be excited.
What would be the worst win?
27-15. 3 for 55 from 3. Wouldn't give me a lot of faith in the rest of the season. I still would find a way to be happy because we beat Kentucky. Texas, I haven't been to a rivalry game in the Yum against UK since 2012 when I was in college. I'll be in there tonight bringing the good vibes back. Cards by 90.
That's cool.
I haven't been to the last one I went to was the game we lost in overtime in 2019 at Rupp. I don't think I've been to one at the Yum Center since. Please stop with the horn. Come on.
This was supposed to be my first here. Abelson even offered me a ticket, but
you just didn't want to go. Oh, you got work.
Matt's gonna be out and about with his buddies watching the game. It's like at a bar or something, and we got to put Pacers on.
I went in the year UK was the undefeated season, 2014-15. We were undefeated. I think they were undefeated, and like they were number 1, we were number 3 or something. I went to that game and didn't go great. We played okay, but they were better than we were, and they won the game. I think that was the last one at the Yum Center that I've been to. The last time we won, the game that I'm watching right now, I had to like sprint home because the game started at 7, and it was a Tuesday night. We had the radio show till 6, and I had to like sprint home. And we had a painter who was still working at our house. I remember I left for the radio show, and I was like, Mary, he's going to be gone by the time the game starts, right? And she's like, yeah, he'll definitely be gone. He was there for like the first half, and we're downstairs like screaming and hollering. I'm saying like the worst things possible, and this guy had no interest in sports whatsoever. He's like, yeah, big game tonight. I was like, yeah, man, pretty big game. Get the hell out of my house, please. Finish this tomorrow if you can. It was very, very awkward, but I was like, am I going to hold back because of this guy? And then the game started, and I was like, there's no way to hold back. It's Louisville versus Kentucky, for God's sake. Let's go. Texture says, I wanted to win by any margin. Now we have to win by 7 or more, so Romans UK plus 6.5 does not hit. Boo this man. Roman, you're getting a lot of flack for that.
They don't like that. Listen, there's a lot of people taking the plus 6.5. I've seen it.
People are, I mean, most U of L fans saw this, and they're like, I don't get it. I don't understand it at all.
It gave me a headache.
Even if Owe is out for this game, which is, I guess, the rumor, I still think 6.5 is too much. You know,
Well, if he was out, I'd say 6 is good.
I still think it's too much, man. I mean, but it's hard to say. It's so early. It's so bleeping early. We just don't know enough about these teams to say really anything with any degree of confidence. You know.
That's why I think it's going to be a close game.
I mean, I do too. I'll be very surprised if it's not. If they blew us out, I'd be very surprised. If we blew them out, I'd be very surprised. Which would surprise you more?
Definitely them blowing us out, because that means somebody went crazy. Either that means somebody went, like one player just went berserk that shouldn't have, or they had somebody that, like 2 or 3 guys that just played way out of their minds more so than we thought they would. Because I think we have the ability to blow anybody out. I don't think they do.
Yeah, I agree with that. Having said that, basically in my life since I've hit puberty, there have been games where I've been surprised that they've blown us out. There has not been one game where I've been surprised that we've blown them out, because we haven't blown them out at all. So, yeah, I guess the one exception is the 81-63 game in Patino's second year. We beat them bad in Rick's second year, and then we beat them when they were number 1 in the country in Rupp, 65-56 the next year. So those were the two like kind of surprise dominating performances that we've had, and it's been a long time since I was in college. Hate to admit it, but it was a while ago at this point. One more text before we can break. Texter says, second time texter, I see way too many Kentucky fans out here in Atlanta. Give me a reason to heckle them, Pat, please. Like Kaysen said, F them. It's RHC and ATL. I mean, there's nothing like being able to heckle rival fans when you're out of state. It's the best possible feeling. It's the best, yeah. Throwing L's up at a UK fan in Atlanta. It's a good feeling. What's your favorite Louisville win over Kentucky, Roman? I don't think I've gotten this question out of you. It's been a while since we've had one. You haven't gotten a chance to really experience many.
No.
Which one stands out to you?
Oh, that's...
Quinn Snyder just hit a crazy shot with 2.5 minutes to go here, by the way. That game's got to be up there.
That's probably it.
I mean, do you have recollection of the Edgar Sosa game?
Just that shot.
Okay.
I remember that shot.
Because you were probably like 10 years old,
I remember looking at the TV, watching it live. And from that moment on, I kicked my feet up every jump shot. Like, that shot right there made me start kicking my feet up on jumpers.
I mean, terrible shot. If he misses it and we lose in overtime.
He banked it, right?
No. He made it straight up.
He made it? He switched it?
Yeah. If we had lost that game, Edgar Sosa gets remembered forever for taking a terrible shot.
Was it off of an offensive rebound?
No.
I can't remember that play. I just remember that shot.
He walked the ball up the court. We didn't run anything.
Top of the key, just stopped and shot it.
He just stopped and took it from way too deep.
That's such a crazy shot.
Yeah, we had blown that game. Earl Clark had thrown the ball away. We were up 5 with like 40 seconds left and completely gave the game away. And then Edgar saved the day with a big 3. All right, let's go to break. We go back. Final hour of the show. We're going to get you ready for tip-off between the Cards and the Cats. Let's lock in. We're getting closer and closer. We're not scared. We're never scared. Here on 1450 The Big X.
It's oozing out of your cerebellum.
There we go. Final hour of the Tuesday edition of the Mike Rutherford Show, a.k.a. the rivalry edition of the Mike Rutherford Show, presented by United Mechanical and Nexus Plus. 1450 96.1 Big X Sports Radio. Reminder, if you've been hurt in an accident or on the job, the Collier Law Firm is the place to go. Tony Collier and the crew, they're lifelong Louisville fans. They're diehards. They're season ticket holders. More importantly, they're damn good at their jobs. These guys all spent several years working for the insurance companies. They've got their playbook. They know how to use it. They're going to get you the most money for your recovery, and they're going to make you keep the most money for your recovery, which is why their attorney fees start at just 25%, not 45 or 50%, like some of these big UK-backed firms that are out there. Call the Collier Law Firm today at 502-736-8141 or visit them online at collierlawfirm.com, COLYER lawfirm.com. Hurt in an accident, hurt on the job, call your law firm. Final seconds coming down of this U of L UK 2016-2017 game. I just noticed that Dan Schulman and Jay Billis are on the call, Roman, for this game, just like they are tonight. That's got to be positive mojo, right?
Very good sign right there.
We're feeling good. I don't know if they've called one of our games recently. Oh, Malik Monk just hit a deep three to keep Kentucky in it. Oh, I'm nervous now. 71-70. 10 seconds left. Terrified. Don't foul Donovan. I don't know if Donovan Mitchell's clutch. By the way, Donovan did not play well in this game, but he hit 2 big free throws and got it out. Great game.
I feel like he had a handful of games where he was like bad field goal percentage, but hit the big shot at the end.
Well, early on, the first 2 months, the non-conference portion of his sophomore year was bad. He just wasn't a good player, and he got benched on New Year's Eve against Indiana, and then came out and lit it up. And from that point forward, he was great. Ended up being first team All ACC, and then he's having some success in the pros. Did you see the shot he hit last night? By the way,
Oh my goodness.
good lord.
I mean, I thought he stepped out, but
Oh, did he?
I mean, it's like not going viral today, but I've seen a couple tweets with like 1,000 likes and stuff, just talking about, I thought he looked like he went out, and he kind of did, but it's just really too fast to tell. Like the shadow of his foot as it's coming down definitely is over the line, but he's running too quick to tell. And I didn't slow down the video to go look.
I mean,
but it didn't matter.
It abides by the old rule. If it's too cool, you gotta let it.
Gotta
stand.
let it go. Yeah, gotta let it stand. Did you see what happened after that?
No.
Oh my gosh, it was 135-138. Donovan gets the offensive, or they get the offensive rebound. He gets the ball in the corner there, hits the 3. 0.4 seconds left on the clock, and this is the one time where I don't like that they can advance the ball up that far. I just wish
Manufactured drama.
Wish it was a little bit further back, just on the other side of half court, right? Because now with 0.4 seconds left, you get the ball on your side of the floor. But Miami Heat inbound lob to Andrew Wiggins for the game-winning
the Heat
buzzer
wanted the
beating.
buzzer? I assumed it went to overtime.
Yeah, because it's 0.4. You don't even 0.4. Andrew Wiggins buzzer beater dunk or alley-oop.
I'm with you. That manufactured drama. Yeah. I don't
That's
like
the
it.
one time that's, because I'm just a complete put 4 seconds on the clock there. I'm glad that they can do that because they get time to actually put a dribble move up versus using all your time to get up the floor. 0.4 seconds, you gifted them the opportunity to score. You can't get the ball from one end to the other in 0.4.
It's just not an
You
earned
can't get
advantage.
an accurate lob. No, it's not. But it feels like on the inside of the half court line even instead of
Something should have
on
to
the other
happen.
hash.
In any sport, something should have to happen. You should have to do something to earn an advantage, and besides just having a timeout available. I think that's silly. But I did see your Lakers last night. 10-point win over the Hornets.
Yep.
Looking good.
Luka
Luka
looked great.
balling out. Miles Bridges still doing his thing, though, for Charlotte. 8-3, how you feeling now?
Feeling pretty good. I didn't think we'd be at 8-3 before LeBron got back, so it's kind of feeling like house money just a little bit. Gonna have genuine Luka MVP shouts if this continues now. I mean, the MVP race is gonna stack up. If the Lakers stay up there, I mean, Shea, Luka, and Wemby are all gonna have a case, and then Jokic is actually the MVP, so he's always gonna have a case.
And Reeves. Just saying. Don't forget about him. We're starting to see the line. I'm starting to notice the line is coming back down ever so slightly at a couple of books.
You seeing 5 now?
I'm seeing 5 at DraftKings, 5.5 at DraftKings.
Always the first to go lower if it's going that way.
Yeah, there's another one. Was this Vegas Insider has it at 5.5 as well. A couple have bumped down to 6. Looks like FanDuel is still at 6.5. But a couple of sites are starting to bring the line back down a little bit towards Kentucky. I don't know if they're waiting on an announcement for an injury.
So little percentages they've got on DraftKings.
Uh-huh.
It says 75% of the bets on DraftKings are money line bets for UK. 80% or 75% of the money line bets are in UK's favor here on DraftKings. 80% of the spread bets are in the plus 5.5 for UK's favor, and 55% of the bets are coming in on the over at 73.5. A lot of people jumping on that plus 5.5.
I want to know where the sharps are, though.
Yeah, I don't have access to. I don't know how to get that for free. I don't even know if you can.
Russ Smith just tweeted out, U of L versus Kentucky today is a little early, but F it, let's do it. Always ready. And then tweets out the Sports Illustrated cover of him staring down Julius Randle, who he dunked on a couple times, but unfortunately lost to a couple times. We're in the same mindset. It feels too early, but F it, let's go. So my son, he's got this. We had him decked out, which I do love that this is a thing in the city of Louisville. My daughter goes to Catholic school now, and they have the uniforms. But today it's a free dress day if you wear Louisville or Kentucky stuff. Like just you got to bring $1 in. But she wore her Louisville stuff. We had John decked out in his Louisville stuff. But his heavy winter coat, the only like real thick coat he has, is this blue coat. Yeah.
No.
And so this morning I was like, I don't care. I was like, he can't wear it today. He can't do it. And so we had to go find this like little fleece pullover that was not nearly warm enough for the morning. It was too cold for them to go to the playground, so I wasn't worried about him freezing to death. But I was like, he can't show up in a blue coat today. I can't drop him off in a bright blue coat on the day of the Louisville-Kentucky game with all the other kids wearing their Louisville and Kentucky stuff. So it was like a green pullover, and then right when we got in the door, I was like, all right, take that off. Like, show the Louisville stuff. Show the Louisville quarter zip. Let's go. It's go time. Because he did wear the blue coat on Monday, and one of his teachers made a comment like, I like that Kentucky blue. It's like, no, we can't do this when they're actually playing. Let's go. I did love my mother-in-law. She gave him the coat for Christmas last year, and she asked if it was like okay. I was like, yeah. I was like, we're not that insane. It's fine. It's a blue coat. But on the actual game day, no, he can't wear it. He can't rock it. He's gonna have to freeze his little ass off if it's gonna be a Louisville Kentucky game. But he's ready. He was throwing the yells up. I don't think he has any idea who's actually playing, but he's focused. He's ready to go. You guys are focused on the Game Day Men's Health text line as well at 502-414-1450. Keep those texts coming in. Real quickly, kind of an interesting thing that's happening, not game-related today, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on this, but
Florida State's line moving.
No. What's happening there?
19.5 point dogs, now 16.5 point dogs on some books.
Who are they playing?
Florida.
Oh. I like them to cover that. That's too big of a number.
I took that plus 18.5.
There's a Michigan insider who covers college athletics who has put this out there today. So, you've got this weird equity deal going on with the Big Ten. And he says there's real fire to the smoke that Michigan and USC could both leave the Big Ten over the equity deal. So much so that both schools now have negotiated a backroom backup plan for non-football sports to move to the ACC if necessary. So if Michigan and USC left the Big Ten, they would, in theory, join Notre Dame in going independent in football, but playing all of their other sports in the ACC.
No.
Which would make the ACC now a 20-team basketball conference.
No.
I mean, at some point, you've got to sack up a little bit here, right?
Don't let them do it.
I mean, who is USC at this point to say that they're too good to play football in our conference? Reggie Bush ain't walking through that door. Matt Leinart ain't walking through that door. You've accomplished nothing over the past 22 years. You can play football with us. I don't think you can do this if you're the ACC. I know you're looking for additional revenue, and I know Michigan and USC are big brands that could help you in basketball and baseball and other sports, but you're already kind of letting Notre Dame treat you like a battered spouse. You can't just give in and say we've got 3 of these programs that are so important that we can let them do whatever they want and take all of our revenue but not play football in our conference, right?
This should have never been allowed for Notre Dame.
I agree. They get the full rev share.
Come play in the ACC or go to a different league. You don't get to do this half and half. The quarterback you started last year plays for us. You're not in any different tier than us.
You're not wrong. Not wrong.
That's so stupid.
I'll be upset.
Someone's going to end up making a conference, Mike. They're going to make a new conference.
That's fine. Go do it. I'll be upset if the ACC says, yeah, sure, like you don't have to play football with us. Just can you hang out with us? It's like being invited to sit at the lunch table with the cool kids, but then you don't get invited to hang out on the weekends. You can't go to the parties. You're in the fraternity, but they lock you out of the house when you try to show up. Like you can't let that happen.
Cool, we'll do it, but every single game you guys play in the non-football sports is an away game.
Ooh, I like that idea. Imagine USC having to travel across the country twice a week every week for basketball. Them's the price. That's what you got to do. Your swimming team, sorry.
They would hate the football team.
You're swimming at Pitt Tuesday night at 9 o'clock East Coast time. Tough break. Back the next day. Yeah, there would be. I hate this. I feel like the ACC is so desperate for acceptance.
Like what is actually to gain for them? Like you're gonna get a few more numbers on the basketball side and a few more heavy hitters on the secondary sports. Is that what it's for? You need USC in the ACC volleyball tournament? Really?
I can't imagine this actually happening. But if it did, I'd be disappointed. Also, 20 teams for a basketball conference is ridiculous. 18 is still way too many right now. 12 should be.
Now, the only issue, like, you say that, and I fully agree, but maybe you'd have maybe more teams in the tournament now from the ACC.
Well, we would. I mean, Michigan's right now a great basketball program. Dusty May's doing a tremendous job. They're a top 10 team. USC's got a lot of momentum.
I'd start calling us the best conference if they did do that for basketball. I would hate it, but I'd start saying that.
Well, sure. I mean, you can say it right now if you want to. No, you can do whatever you want. I'm not stopping you.
I mean, we're one win tonight away from that being the case.
We're better than the SEC. If we're
number one in KenPom.
No question about it. All right, 502-414-1450 is the Game Day Men's Health text line. Let's get back to it. Want to make sure that everyone has their thoughts heard on this special rivalry edition of the show. Texas, how many designed out-of-bounds plays are we going to run tonight? Hopefully a lot, because we do pretty damn well.
Let's put a number on it and try to count them out live when the game.
Oh, God, there's no way I'm going to have the nerves to do that effectively.
Designed out-of-bounds plays, I'll go 11.
I was going to say 12, but, I mean, I feel like designed out-of-bounds plays are almost always blobs.
One screen, though, is a design, like,
yeah,
the big coming to set the screen on the guard to get open.
But we can also have sideline out of bounds plays where you're not. I mean, it's not like pass shoot, pass score.
That's what I'm saying. Is it?
It's we inbounds the ball and we get right into something that's specifically drawn up for that scenario. I think that
passes.
Counts. Yeah, or more. I think that counts. Texter says, first time texter. I think Michael is a better defender than we all give him credit for. He's so fast and his length will give him an edge over Lowe. I think he's gonna have to show it a little bit. He's been out of position a lot these first two games. And he had the reputation for being not a great defender coming into college. And also said, I think the random guy that goes off for UK is Trent Noah if he plays. I think we all just automatically go to the little white guy that doesn't play as much as the rest of the team when we're talking about this player. Maybe because he hasn't shot it as well as Kentucky fans want him to, but I think they're more likely candidates, but that's why it's the unlikely candidate. Are you searching for the cowboy noise?
Yeah,
I knew you were. Texture says it's a little dumper. When is the last time a Louisville started a dust up? It always there it is. It always seems like it's a Kentucky player. I
don't think we ever have ever.
I mean, but the thing is, Kentucky fans break down the tape to like they were trying to blame Jared Swapshire for the DeMarcus Cousins thing. They like were slow-mo it, and they're like, if you see right there, his pinky grazes the side of Cousins' face, and that's why he responds by slamming his head into the ground with a forearm shiver. Like, and also U of L fans keep saying, I think we've kind of forgotten how that played out. So that game started, and Reggie Delk gets into it with Eric Bledsoe right out of the gate. And Calipari, which is one of the more unheralded moments in this rivalry's history, is threatening a college kid out there. He's like, not the right guy. He's going to kick your ass after the game. Like, he'll kick your ass after the game. I was like, what is going on right now? And then it was 2 minutes later where Cousins drills Swapshire with the elbow. Then he stands up and he starts jawing with Reggie Delk. Everyone remembers it as they didn't even tee up Cousins for that. They did, but they also teed up Swapshire and they teed up Reggie Delk. So the announcers are like, you got to throw Cousins out of the game. Not only does he not get thrown out of the game, they get to shoot free throws because we get 2 technical fouls. They only get 1. They got 2 free throws and the ball back. It was a miscarriage of justice is what it was. It was absolutely absurd. But like last year, Garrison kind of started that nonsense. He also drilled Chucky Hepburn in the back of the head with 2 forearms.
He was trying to beat Rain up.
He was trying to beat everybody up last year. And then Jamal McGlure started it with our guys one time after a game because he was mad that they got beat. The T. Will Ramel Bradley thing. That one you can argue. T. Will got like bumped going to the basket, and you can argue that he overreacted. The initial contact was made by UK. T. Will probably didn't need to react the way that he did. And then David Padgett swooping in like the big brother / dad of the team that he was, kind of de-escalated that. But yeah, I mean, in football, I feel like it's always been UK. They're always trying to start stuff. But we'll see what happens tonight. Texture says, Mike and Roman, who is the most valuable player on our basketball team? And if it's Michael, who's number 2 in the event that Michael has to miss games?
So this texter sent this in yesterday, but they said in the YouTube chat that they didn't think that we had gotten to it. So
I think we did talk about it, right?
They missed this yesterday. We both said Conwell.
Yeah. I think, I'm not saying Michael Brown is right now the best player on the team, but if we're talking about the most important, the most valuable, I think it's him just because if he doesn't play, and I love what we've seen from Kobe Rogers, but the drop-off from Michael to Kobe at the point guard position is stark.
Mike, he's the best player on the team.
He's the most talented player.
You can say it. That experience isn't everything.
I'm not going there just yet. I'm not.
I wouldn't either.
I think he's the most.
You made me draft. Obviously, he's the first player I picked, but I think Conwell just have that experience, that upper hand, because he's seen so many different moments in college basketball. He's been able to play fast, be able to play slow, be able to play on ball, be able to play off ball, and you know he can do all of that. While Michael's technically still learning how to do all of that in college basketball.
What do we think? I mean, because Otega, if he's healthy, he's one of the better defenders. I mean, I'll say it in college basketball. I think he's a great defensive player.
He's strong.
Do we
uses
think
his hands well?
Like, how do we think they utilize him? And we run so many screens.
They're going to switch,
and they switch so much it almost doesn't matter. But I feel like Conwell will be his primary assignment.
I think it'll just be like ideally they'll try to just keep him on Conwell or Michael. We can't have Oweh out there guarding not one of those two guys if they're on the floor.
See, that's what I was going for. I wonder if they, with him being their best defender, do you say, we're putting you on Ryan Conwell because we don't want him to go nuts from 3, and we think you can shut him down. We don't think he can put the ball on the ground and go around you. Or do you put him on Michael Brown because you're worried about Jalen Lowe's ability to keep Michael out of the paint?
I think it's too risky to put your better defender in a position to have more moments where he's going to have to be a better defender, right? Michael's going to force the issue. He's going to get downhill. There's nothing you're going to do to stop it. And at that point, it's all up to the refs, right? So I think you're not going to risk putting Oweh in foul trouble. Even though I think Conwell's technically the more savvy foul getter, I think the ball's going to be in Michael's hands more. And with that being said, I think you're going to try to avoid Oweh being in situations where he's forced to foul Michael.
I don't think, and if I'm wrong about this, I'm wrong. I don't think we can win tonight if Michael Brown doesn't play well. I'm not saying he has to be like the star of stars. If he plays like he did against Kansas, I think we're cooked.
One thing about that, and it goes back to what you said earlier, Mike, and it goes to what you just said and the point we just made. If they try to run with us, and we're just hitting shots at a regular rate, right? Call it 5 threes in the first half, 5 threes in the second. We don't even hit that 12 mark that a lot of people have been suggesting.
Mm-hmm.
If they try to run with us up and down, then some of those defensive things don't matter.
I agree with that. That's why I think we need to play the fastest pace we can.
If we play that speed, I think the need for Michael is lessened on the offensive end. I think the faster we play, the more chance there is Isaac McNeely is going to be your leading scorer. More chance you're going to see the Ryan Conwell threes and stuff like that. I don't think you're going to have to rely on Michael if it's a lot of transition. Now, if you get in the half court, he's your best ball handler. You're going to need him. And I don't want to need him the entirety of the game. The transition game, turning defense into offense, that's what's going to get Ryan Conwell, Isaac McNeely, Kobe Rogers, Javon Hadley, Kaysen Pryor, Kenai Roos, those open looks.
Yeah, I think that's why I said it feels weird to say out loud just because of the recent history between the two teams. I think a slower paced game favors Kentucky. Usually that's
better defenders for it too.
Yeah, and I think they've got the less dynamic.
And Oweh in a slow half court game, you don't want that. If I'm being honest.
You don't. And I mean, I think it's easier for us to get good looks for our best shooters in transition than it is out of the half court.
I think our crowd is going to make it a lot easier to get amped up and playing fast and making shots.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't correlate, but it does.
I think you want this to be a track meet. Now, the highest scoring game in the history of the series is 103 to 89, which I believe was, what year was that? Sometime in the night. It was 1991. We got beat 103 to 89. That's a grand total of, what? I'm not great at math on the show. 192 points. Do we think today's game overtakes that one?
No, not at all.
You don't think so?
Not even a little bit.
These two teams have combined for 3 100-plus point performances in 4 games.
This will be I don't think either team breaks 80, Mike.
Oh, you don't?
No.
That's kind of a hot take.
It is. I haven't seen anybody else. Stephen Peak, I think, is the only other person I've seen with that, and he's not even a U of L. He's not even picking U of L. I haven't seen one person who I've seen pick U of L and pick both teams to not break 80. I think with a rivalry game with such heightened emotions, you're forced into half-court basketball for a good portion of it, right? We're not going to be able to just literally run up and down for the entirety of the game. There's going to be too many foul calls.
We're going to try.
And we are. But I think in a rivalry game, Kentucky's going to try to negate that, especially after runs. You're going to purposely see them try to slow down. Now that they've got their point guard back who can create shots for other players versus having Colin Chandler out there and to do God knows what when he's thinking when he has the ball in his hands. I think that is going to lead to some slower play for Kentucky in the beginning of this game.
Okay.
And I think there's going to be a lot of missed shots, if I'm being honest.
I mean, that is the thing that historically has happened with this game. And it's weird because both sides, more us than them because they've won more than we have, we've kind of brushed it off as it's early in the season. These guys are still hitting their stride. It's like this game's a month and a half earlier than the games that we're used to playing here.
There is no stride yet.
Yeah, but that could easily happen. You could have guys that are a little bit too juiced up. I know Ryan Conwell's played in rivalry games. I know Isaac McNeely's played in big games. But this is different. Maybe you're feeling that pressure. Maybe you get some open outside looks, and they're way long. Maybe the other guys are not hitting. Like, yeah, it could be. We've seen very ugly Louisville, Kentucky games in the past. Who's to say it doesn't happen again, especially when they're playing this on the 9th day of the season, which is so weird. Texter says, I've never been more sure of something than Big Z getting a tech tonight.
Is it Big Z we think who's going to get the tech?
I don't think so.
I think it's Kaysen or Kanai, Mike.
I think it's Kaysen and Garrison getting into it if they're both on the floor at the same time.
Garrison's definitely getting one. You can chalk that up.
I also can. I mean, Hadley gets kind of the quiet tease where he's not like shoving people or threatening to fight or he never, his demeanor never changes, but he gets teased for like saying something. It happened a couple times last year. I can see him being kind of like the stern dad, stepping up and being like, "Why don't you shut the hell up?" Or in more profane language. I can see Javon getting teed up tonight. That was someone's first time text, by the way, too. Cowboy. Text says, "Hey Mike, first time texter."
Cowboy.
This is also not your first time text. You texted in last month and said it was the first time you've listened to the show live. First time texter. Turns out we're distantly related. Also, bleep UK. Oh, your first time text. You said that you were 6 cousins with the Doyle brothers that went to the MLB. There you go. That was my dad was their first cousins. So they are my first cousins once removed. So we are related. Your family. Come watch the game with me tonight. Let's make it happen. Texter says, down here, it's our time. It's our time down here. Roman, do you know what that's from?
No.
Are you familiar with Goonies, Roman?
Yes.
It's from Goonies.
Don't remember what part that's from.
Sean Astin, who famously plays Rudy, as well as whatever. I'm not a nerd. I don't watch The Hobbit. He's not Bilbo, but he's Sam from the Hobbit movies. He says, it's up there, it's their time. Down here, it's our time. Down here. The kids, they're controlling stuff. Kind of a weird movie to watch now that I'm older. Like, they almost die several times having this adventure. They're trying to kill kids out there. Texter says, my wife is a UK fan. We have season tickets. She's wearing blue. She's a good sport by wearing black or gray Louisville stuff to other games, but I hope she's a little sad today. Leave her. Don't let her come to the game. Just leave without her. Leave her at the house. Can't bring her. Can't happen. Don't do it. Push her down when you're walking into the game, and then just run away. All right, we got one segment left. We're going to bring this bad boy home. We'll read as many texts as we can after the break. We'll make some predictions, and then we'll call it a day and get you ready for the Battle of the Bluegrass between Louisville and Kentucky. Keep it locked right here. We're swagging. We're surfing. We're back after this. Tip-off between Louisville and Kentucky. The most contentious rivalry in American sports. The latest chapter gets underway from inside the KFC Yum Center in a mere 3 hours. Cards, Cats, ESPN. Also on 970 WGTK. We got 30 minutes here left on the show to get you ready for the tip-off. Pre-game coverage will start on 970, by the way, at 6:30. We have ticket punchers here after this.
We will.
They're punching tickets here from 5:30 to 6, so keep it locked right here, and then get ready for the official pregame show. Whew. The nerves are starting to come in now. Once you get to the 3-hour mark, once the show is coming up on the last segment, I get all the emotions are starting to creep in a little bit now. The nerves are coming. The excitement's coming.
I'm feeling good now.
Now you're feeling it?
I'm feeling good now.
Here we go.
Wish I could say it.
You know,
Casey said it for us.
F them.
Bleep them.
Could be the tagline. Might start using it pretty soon. It's the new L1C4.
It is.
It's the new Go Cards.
The pause after was so great, too. Or in between each one. When we see you Tuesday. After this win. Bleep them.
Hey. The thing is, high risk, high reward. You win this game, it becomes kind of the unofficial tagline.
You've got the coolest Instagram post in the world.
What if U of L just posted an Instagram victory recap with just F? You lose, it gets thrown back in your face. There's a lot on the line for Case and Pryor and company tonight. We've talked about the importance of this game. Pat Kelsey, for all the good he did last season, had one win over an NCAA tournament team, and it was North Carolina, who probably didn't deserve to be in the tournament. Lost to Kentucky, lost both games to Duke. I said we beat Clemson twice. We did beat Clemson twice.
Come on, Mike.
We didn't beat a team that won an NCAA tournament game.
True.
I guess I'll phrase it that way.
Yeah.
We haven't beaten Kentucky with any degree of regularity, basically in my entire life. This feels like a moment for Pat Kelsey. This feels like a moment for the basketball program. We've gotten back into the normalcy of this being about basketball. No more off-the-court scandals. No more, oh, my God, we can't win games. No more, oh, my God, who the next coach is going to be. The next step is getting this program back to the elite of the elite. And I think an additional step that will be a nice little bonus for the fan base that has stuck with this program through bad and worse for the last decade would be to finally start getting the upper hand on the team that we want to beat more than any other. Rick Pitino couldn't do it. Denny Crum couldn't do it. Kenny Payne obviously couldn't do it. Chris Mack couldn't do it. Can Pat Kelsey be the guy who does it? We find out tonight. 502-414-1450 is the Game Day Men's Health text line.
Hold on, Mike. I'm sorry.
Go for it.
Listen.
Give me something.
Listen, Coach Kelsey. We love what you've done here, but it's your time now. You've been able to get your teams performing better than they typically have been expected to perform now, even doing so last year at Louisville with the base level expectation for a lot of people. You didn't get that win you needed to get last year. You didn't. We lost to every SEC team we played, Mike.
We did.
Can't happen again this year. I get a rivalry game makes it a little bit tough because it's like a top opponent being a rivalry game kind of makes all the numbers skewed a bit. But, Pat, it's your time to shine. This is why you got paid. This is why you picked this job. Get the job done. Year 2, you can't go down 0-2. I'm sorry. You can't. Even though last night I had this take, like, I kept hearing a lot of people say yesterday, we got to win this game or else. Like, that kind of tone behind, we've got to win this. No matter what, we have to win this game. And I kept saying, or what?
Right.
It's November 11th, or what? It's not a lot of reason to think that this is going to be a failure of a season just from a November 11th outcome. With that being said, though, for the sake of the fan base, I'm getting back into that understanding now, like I need to be. Pat, you've got to go out there and show that you can get the job done against these caliber of opponents. More so, not just your rival, the 9th ranked team in the nation in the beginning of your season to go and set up the start of your resume. These are the type of games that make your season. You got to start it off now with a big win.
Number 1 on Ken Palm, the computer rankings love this Kentucky team, and you get them at home. It feels like a situation. I hate using the word half. Like, you have to take advantage of this because you're right. If we lose tonight, it's not like the season's over. It's not like we suck and we're going to fall out of the top 25 and we've got no shot to make the NCAA tournament. But it is a jolt to the fan base, especially when and this is no fault of the basketball programs, but when you're doing this on top of the heartbreaking gut punch football loss on Saturday, it feels like we need something good to happen. And particularly in this rivalry where not a lot of good has happened to us over the last 17 times we've played, it would be a lot to give a jolt of life to the fan base. And like you said, it's a big early boost for the resume. Kentucky's going to be a good team this year. I'll be surprised if they're not the best non-conference game we play this season. That win will resonate. That win's going to look just as good in March as I think it will tonight, maybe better when all's said and done. It's a big early, forget about the rivalry for a second. It's a big early season opportunity to make a statement to the college basketball world. We're not just back in terms of being a threat in the ACC and a team that's going to be in the NCAA tournament on a regular basis. We're
Might just win it all.
We're back in terms of being a threat to cut down the nets. We're back in terms of being a legitimate Final Four team that has the offense and the pieces necessary to go out there and win 6 games in 3 weeks come March and early April.
While I feel contradictory in saying this, Mike, like I just said, November 11th can't ruin your season. November 11th game with an opportunity like this can really kickstart your season in terms of a positivity and aligning for success with Quad 1 opportunities.
I agree. Look, we all kind of brushed off some of the non-conference losses last year, and I understand why we did it. You know, Tennessee, whatever, it's the first game. We lost to Oklahoma.
We needed that Oklahoma win.
We did.
We did not need to look that bad against Ole Miss.
We didn't realize at the time, I think, how much that ended up affecting us. Like we knew it put our backs up against the wall when we got to ACC play. We didn't realize how much it did.
Yeah,
we were damn near perfect for 3 months, and we were an 8 seed because we didn't win some of those games that we had opportunities to win in November and December.
Got worked in a couple of them.
Yeah, the process towards making sure that history doesn't repeat itself, it starts tonight.
Yes.
Let's get it done. 502-414-1450. Let's run through some texts here before we make some predictions and call it a day. Texter says, what's up, guys? I'm drained emotionally. I'm tired of getting my hopes up for big games for basketball and football. I'm not certain we can compete with the SEC and the Big Ten money. I'm starting to feel like we're mid-major. Are we Gonzaga going forward? I'll be elated if we win, but not counting on it. Go Cards. I don't like this text. No, we're not Gonzaga. And first of all, Gonzaga's good. Gonzaga's won a game in every tournament for like 35 straight years. So,
I had a dream about them 2 nights ago.
You had a dream about Gonzaga basketball?
Yes.
In what context?
They lost.
Oh.
That was it.
They didn't. They beat Oklahoma by like 45.
I know. I don't know what. That night I had a dream that they lost for some reason.
Texter says, first-time texter. What's up, fellas? Lifelong diehard Louisville fan in my 7th year attending the university, 3rd-year law student. Tonight will be the first time I'm able to attend a U of L UK game in person. Pray for my vocal cords. F them.
Oh, I'm excited for this guy.
For 7th year.
This is a great first in-person game right here. I'm jealous, actually.
I hope your law school tickets are better than mine were back in the day. They were very high. Way back in the, I mean, I went like the first 2 months of games, and then after a while, I was like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. This is rough. But for a game like UK, yeah, you show up.
Make your way down there.
You want to be in the building.
Go get in that standing room in the lower bowl if you need to.
Texas, I have to put my car in the shop. I'm getting the bad juju out of the way early.
I like this.
My sister-in-law blew a tire coming over to our house last night.
Just don't like that.
Tires just getting all this construction, just blowing tires everywhere. Texas, you've got to get out in transition and wear them out and pick and roll them because they suck at defending that. There's no wearing out this Kentucky team. They go 10 deep. They've got 10 guys that are averaging 17 minutes per game. And then I think Trent Noah comes in and he's been playing 9 minutes per game.
I think it's just really Chandler, Noah. I think Chandler and Noah have been the 2 guys that are like, get them in the pick and roll. You're going to have an advantage.
I mean, I think we want to get out in transition because it's advantageous for what we want to do. I think it's great for creating open shots. I think Mikel's the most dynamic player on the court, should be tonight. You want to get him out there with a head of steam going downhill. I just think if it's a half-court game, it favors them. If it's a transition game, it favors us.
My friend bet his coworker, he's like a physical therapist, like he's still in PT school or trying to get into PT school type of a thing, but they let you work at one of those types of places early on, you know. He bet the doctor above him 1,000 push-ups on the game tonight.
Oh, God. I thought you were going to say he bet his paycheck. I was like, Jesus.
Could you imagine to have to do 1,000 push-ups immediately after they potentially, like if Louisville lost tonight, having to do 1,000 push-ups after that?
I couldn't when I was in the best shape of my life.
Yeah, I was going to say the most I've ever been able
probably
to do.
kill me now. Yeah.
I'd have to break them up.
I mean, I was like, can I give that to you over a week? That would be my. I can't give you 1,000 in a day. I just can't. I'm not gonna be able to. I'd be standing like I'm in a full body cast for the rest of the week, like, totally unable to put my arms down.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to type.
Texas Mike, I'm so scared of a guy who's going to work for a lawn care company in 5 years hitting 12 threes against us tonight. I think we all are. Very next text. Isn't it kind of little brother energy when you guys talk about how there's always a player that goes off and complain about it? They've just had better players. No, that's the thing.
It's the non-better player.
It's the non-better. And it's guys who go into the game like 3 of 25 from 3 that end up ripping off 7 or 8 threes. Again, Lamont Butler had 7 for the season last year through like 13 games, and he hit 6 against us. Didn't miss.
Don't think he had another game with more than 4.
No, he didn't. He didn't come close to playing that type of offensive game the rest of the season. Texter says, I have to put my... Oh, we already read that. Texter says, Kaysen's going to back up his talk. He's going to get 16-plus points on Garrison's head.
Love it.
I don't think he is.
Completely lost the text line here.
What?
I have no idea. What time was that?
That was 3:37.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Texas Spencer Legg goes off tonight for 4 threes. I was so before the game, I was hanging out with somebody who's good friends with Cole Sherman. Spencer Legg is our babysitter's friend, and they were saying, you know, the 2K company, the video game, stopped by U of L this week, and apparently all the players, like, because they have to get you to sign away your likeness to be in the game, and they'll pay you for it now. So apparently every player who's in the video game, they get $7,000 and they get like all this swag and stuff, but walk-ons aren't featured. So like Cole Sherman and Spencer Legg and those guys were like, "Well, this sucks." You know, like you don't have to pay me. Just can you put me in the game? Can I just play with my own self on the actual video game? And apparently, no is the answer. It's a tough break. Texas says there's a fine line between playing with an edge and playing tight because you want to win so much. Somehow Kentucky regularly plays with more of an edge than us while also playing loosely. We need to match them.
I agree.
Yes, I agree with that too. Texas, U of L has an advantage at every position on the court, and it's not even close. Come on, guys. And you know how I hate the "it's not even close" thing. But also, like, it's very clearly close at most positions. Where do we think Kentucky does have the biggest advantage over us, if there is an advantage?
There's no big one. I think that, I mean, if OA at 100%, I'm going to take OA on both sides of the ball at 100% over Conwell on both sides of the ball.
I agree with that.
That's about it.
Or McNeely, yeah. I mean, I like their front court better than ours so far, but it's still early. I think we're still kind of waiting to see what we have with Sananda Faru, and maybe if Kanai's for real this season. I'm kind of waiting to see if Malachi Moreno's for real. Is he really an 18-10 guy, or is that just the product of playing Nichols and Valpo? We'll find out more to all these answers tonight. Roman Hader said, you know what happened during last year's game? Miller Moss committed during it, and my life has been a living hell ever since. I mean, we don't need to bring up Miller Moss. We talked about him enough yesterday. Leave him alone.
It's funny because now the Roman Hader comments from earlier in the season, his bold takes on the offense, like, not really wrong now.
Texter says, I'd love to see the first few offensive sets tonight focus on attacking the rim and attacking whoever Lowe is guarding. We should attempt to exploit their weakness early. Also, don't want to see the team start settling for jump shots early. Attack the rim and allow it to open up the three-point line later.
Who's their starter? What's their starting one or starting three in the 3 position for them?
If Oweh plays, it'll be Oweh, Aberdeen, and then I guess Chandler. I mean, do we think they start Jalen Lowe tonight?
Yeah.
They've gone with the last game. I can tell you they went with Chandler at the point,
and Lowe came
Aberdeen, Oweh, and then Garrison Diabate.
But Lowe played like the same minutes as Chandler, didn't he?
He played like 16 minutes.
Oh, okay.
But everybody played between like 16 and 22 minutes in that game because they won by 60 or whatever it was.
They don't start Lowe out there.
I bet they don't. But I bet he plays. I bet he ends up playing the most minutes. I bet he plays more minutes than like Chandler and Aberdeen.
If Chandler starts, they'll probably throw him on McNeely.
Yeah, I think you're totally right there. I think Oweh gets probably Conwell.
Start him on Conwell probably.
And then Aberdeen gets the assignment with Michael. I don't know. They might throw Oweh on Michael.
Aberdeen starts. I wouldn't be surprised at Oweh on Michael.
He's the shortest of those 3, too. Texter says, Paul Rogers' voice cracked on the INT versus UCF in 22. It did. He also started tearing up during the Kevin Ware game, and his voice cracked there. He gets into it. Texter says, we have too many texts. I can't read Deuce Adams stuff. We'll save that for tomorrow or Thursday. Texter says, why did you name your son after John Calipari? That's someone's first text into the show.
Cowboy.
Don't do that. You guys deserve a cowboy. It was after John Tong, actually. We love John Tong in our household. Steps called.
Who are you named after?
Who was I really named after?
Yeah.
My grandfather. And then my grandfather was John Ed Pierce, worked at the paper. And then I was also named after my godfather, who also worked at the paper. He was a writer named Mike Berry. So that was where the Michael came from. So family name. John Michael.
Got my name out of the Bible.
Oh, are you pulling rank on me?
No, I was just saying. It's actually, there is a cool story. My grandma, my mom's mom, and my dad, which, my mom and my dad weren't together up until, once it came time for the birth to be coming out. And they, obviously did not pick names together, but my grandma and my dad both brought Roman into the hospital room unexpectedly. So
Wow.
Meant to be.
Now, that's pretty cool.
My mom wanted to name me Winthrop. Very glad they both brought.
You are not a Winthrop. You are absolutely not a Winthrop. They may as well have named you Vanderbilt.
Yeah,
if that were the case.
I'd be wearing suspenders right now.
Although Pat Kelsey coached at Winthrop, could have named you Charleston Kelly. Sounds like you're a jazz singer from the 30s. Text, hey Mike, I know how hard you took the home loss to Cal on Saturday. However, I know you were cheered up hearing the POTUS on commentary during the Commanders-Lions game, as well as Amon-Ra St. Brown doing the Trump dance after he scored.
He said it was some company he's endorsing. He was trying to advertise for them. Said it wasn't a Trump.
Trump? Oh. Well, he pointed at the box and did it. I don't know if I buy that. Very next text. Donald Trump said the Louisville-Kentucky basketball game is like a war zone. Worse than fighting against Al-Qaeda, ISIS, Hamas, or Hezbollah. Will be more chaotic than Iraq or Afghanistan. Tell your girlfriend that. Texas is DEFCON level for a case in time YOLO game tonight. Oh, it's high. It's off the charts high.
Behind the back, step backs.
Just get it out of the system early, Kaysen. If it happens in the second half with us in a close game, I'm going to lose my mind. Texas, I'm super excited for the game tonight, but mostly because of what this will do for our tournament resume.
Same here. As
a team that got shafted last year, this will be a massive win for what hopefully will be a much better seed in the tournament. It's a big deal for both. No question about it. Texas, was Riddler's text about Kentucky or Josh Hurd? With the F. Texas says, I think my first text didn't come through. It didn't. Thank you for resending it. So I'll try a different one. Mike, who do you like for an all-time crazy out-of-the-blue performance from a U of L player? We ended up talking about this. He said Roman. Oh, no, Roman
quoting
said,
us.
Give me Snodafru, 14-8. Meanwhile, Snodafru is averaging 11-7. Yeah, it needs to be more than 14-8.
Give me 30 and 20.
There it is. Just go wild. Texter says, I've been looking into buying tickets for tonight's game for the past week. Tickets on Friday were $95 for the cheapest ticket. They fell to $93 on Saturday morning. I texted my buddy and asked if he was okay with me pulling the trigger on buying them for $93. He said, wait until Monday. Tickets the next day skyrocketed up to $135, and now they're $188. Absolutely criminal. How does this rationally happen? I don't know.
I saw someone say they got one for $80 today.
I don't know. Text that my friends just saw Pat Kelsey on the side of the Yum Center and took pics with him. I'm not kidding. He said, I came to get some fresh air. What a G.
Oh, he's in there fuming already.
He's locked in.
He's locked in. He's already yelling.
I mean, I know how much I hate the hours of solitude leading up to a big game. I can't imagine Pat Kelsey just sitting in there being like, I don't know what to do.
Just under the bridge down there next to the stadium, pacing around.
You see him just sprinting across the big four, just getting all that energy out, dripping sweat. Texter says,
Cool, he took pics.
Yeah, it is cool. Texas, what are your thoughts on the other top 15 matchup tonight? Illinois opened -6.5, now down to -3.5. Last I looked, I wish that game wasn't at the same time as UK Louisville. Go Cards, go Illinois. Am I allowed to say both? I mean, I guess.
Did you see Santa Clara last night?
What about him?
They demolished Xavier.
Oh, I did see. I saw that Xavier lost. I didn't realize it was that bad.
Yeah, it was bad the entire game.
Texas Tech, Illinois. Yeah, it will be a good game tonight. Give me Texas Tech straight up. I'm sorry. Give me the Red Raiders. I'm bigger on Texas Tech than most people are. I know Wake also plays Michigan tonight.
Give me Creighton tonight.
Who's Creighton playing? I got tunnel vision with this game.
Over Gonzaga.
Ooh, no, I don't think that's going to happen.
Actually, yeah, I took the spread, plus 11.5.
Creighton ain't walking into the kennel and walking out with a win. I think Creighton's overrated. I say that as somebody who watched them beat my favorite team in the tournament last year. I think that they get
I think they
pounded
are
a little
too.
bit
I
tonight.
think they are too. I asked you about it at the start of the season. I'm gonna see.
I trust. Well, you asked what justify them being in the top 25. Why do people? And I said it's McDermott. He's wildly consistent. That's why they get voted there. He's a hell of a coach. I don't like their roster that much. Drinks guy texted in. It's the gif of the UK fan falling in the football crowd. I don't know if Drinks guy. We never got an update on his 21 drinks. I think Danny may have ruined the game with that claim. Texas Louisville's team total early in the day was 90.5.
Let's go take a look.
Texas, I'm just tuning in. Has Hadley been cleared to play? We have not heard anything on the Javon Hadley front that I know of. There are rumors that Otega Owe may be dealing with an injury, and that's why the line jumped today. No confirmation there. He did go through warm-ups. We've got nothing on Javon Hadley. All I can say is what I heard. When was the Jackson State game? Friday? That night, I'd heard that they were confident he would be able to play for the Kentucky game. We'll see if that has come to fruition.
Team total sitting at 89.5, Mike.
Texas, I went to Goodwill and I accidentally touched a UK shirt. I went to Walmart and I put the Louisville shirts over all the UK shirts. Go Cards. It's just different here. Well done.
Good job.
Texas, bleep UK, bleep Mark Pope, bleep Mark Stoops, bleep Barnhart, and bleep the color blue. But he didn't say bleep. Lazard guy says beat UK.
Surprised that this is the only Lazard guy.
Well, he's humbled because he basically cost us the game against Cal on Saturday.
Yeah.
His 10 out of 10 confidence level crap. Texas, my first time also at a Louisville Kentucky basketball game outside of the TBT game. My dad spent 25 years keeping me and my brother from the heartache these games bring, especially in person. But this year we're finally doing it. Dad will not be attending or even watching, of course. Bring home a win. Bring home a win. Texas, Mike, are you having an emergency podcast if we win tonight? I would be willing to bet so. We'll see. Texas, I always figured Roman's name was an honor to the hedonism of the Roman Empire. No. All right, let's get into it. 2.5 hours away from tip-off. Cards, Cats. My feelings on this have fluctuated over the last 48 hours or so. Before I say what I think happens, tell me what you think happens, Roman Kelly. Louisville, Kentucky, who gets the win? Who leads the Cards in scoring?
I keep going back and forth, Mike, on this being a extremely close game where no team really gets more than a 6 or 7 point lead. And I also keep thinking that we're going to come out of the gates firing. We get that 12-point lead and have it for the entirety of the game. They claw back right at the end, but ultimately we get the job done at the free throw line. I keep kind of going there a little bit as well. And I'm also I know that there's the potential for that player we don't suspect to come out and just kind of light us up. Just because we've seen it so many times the last handful of matchups. Ultimately, though, I do think that Louisville has the edge here with its skill out on the perimeter. I think there's more players that can go out there and just get you a bucket when you need to, when all things are said and done for us. I also think that we have more players that we can go to. Give me Louisville. Louisville wins 78-76.
Ooh, I've been going back and forth all week. I mean, hand up. Last night, I thought Kentucky was going to win. That's been my thought all week. I'm flipping it now. Cards get the job done. High-scoring affair, 92-90. Michael Brown's the best player, but Isaac McNeely leads Louisville in scoring. Let's go, baby. Go Cards. Beat UK. F 'em. Go Cards.
339-1133.